But I think the development of full artificial intelligence will spell the end of the human race.
It's a flying object, and we don't know what it is. I would hope somebody's checking it out.
With the rocket or whatever, but incredibly fast, opposite direction. It was too fast to be an airplane.
I'm glad the Pentagon is looking at this, because if it poses a threat, I want them on top of it.
Well, the craft generates its own gravitational field.
You said there's lights in the sky?
The internet has become the command center for criminals and terrorists.
911, what's your emergency? I need help, please help me!
Aliens won't let it happen. That's what we're instructed to say.
Roswell, Area 51. Alien kept deep under the ground.
1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0.
Doesn't have your best interest in mind. The government is self-serving. You're here for a reason. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness.
Well, good evening. Welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting. And, of course, 88.4 FM, Auckland, New Zealand. Tonight, we're just going to check in. Hey, look, it's been a busy 2025. That's a fact. And there's a lot of things in play in the sense of, well, everything. I'm always talking about how quickly the world's changing, and there's a lot of ways, including, of course, wild claims about alien invasions, wild claims of interdimensional entities and aliens, and, of course, the shenanigans that happen on the Hill as far as UFO disclosure goes. Now, there's a lot of ways we can take this tonight, and I kind of just want it to be like a general type show, but let's not, please, as usual, let's not get political on this stuff. I get it. It's really easy to kind of rage against the government, and but it just always devolves into some just really awful political style show. You know what I mean? But there's a lot in play regarding, let's say, the government without even talking politics whatsoever. Specifically and namely UFOs. And not just that, a ton of things happening in the space in the last several weeks in terms of, alien invasions. And like I said, interdimensional visitors. I mean, if you guys have been paying any amount of attention, what's her name? Paulina Luna was on Joe Rogan yesterday, and she was talking about all this stuff. I didn't get to listen to all of it, but it is a little bit eye-opening in terms of, this is one of our sitting Congress people. I mean, boo, I hate them all. But talking openly about interdimensional visitors. Okay. And I'm like, here we go, right? Here we go. Strap in. But not to be outdone. We've got some breaking news, by the way. And of course, this is tongue-in-cheek breaking news, so everybody relax. I don't really believe this. But this is the type of clickbait nonsense that we have to deal with in 2025 as part of this larger Zeitgeist discussion, okay? Now, everybody relax. It's not actually breaking news. But it is from this one dude. I should have just chopped the name out from the thing, because this guy drives me insane with his clickbait. But anyway, here, I'll read it straight. The tweet, straight from the horse's mouth, okay? Listen to this. Breaking news. Humans now have 160 days until this alien comet that Harvard scientists believe could be an alien ship arrives to Earth, which could hold a threat for every human alive, according to Professor Avi Loeb. This alleged alien ship will arrive before December 5th, 2025, according to the professor. Professor Loeb, quote, "It could come to save us or to destroy us," end quote. And also end the breaking news. Now, when I see this stuff, it just really kind of pisses me off because, as usual, we have a fascination with the end. Okay, we do. We just, we are temporary. Shout out Herschel. We are temporary entities on this planet. We always have been. It's part of the human condition, and this type of stuff really grabs that terror within us. Okay, except in this case, breaking news, emphatically stating things, the appeal to authority, citing Avi Loeb. I mean, okay. Anyway, so basically this is a Zeitgeist check-in. I'm calling this tonight. Like I said, don't mind the write-up. The write-up's good, but it's not about what we're going to talk about tonight. It's kind of in the periphery because we're going to just talk about this stuff. How do you feel about this clickbait stuff when it comes to the end of the world? Again, riding the edge of the eschaton, waiting for Cthulhu to show up and eat us all, right? So I'm calling this Zeitgeist check-in. System collapse syndrome, which seems to be not just what's happening in terms of this sort of clickbait stuff we're talking about, but also in the sense that every time this kind of stuff comes back into the news cycles and gets into the airwaves and all the stuff, I mean, people lose their minds. I mean, look at and the reason I'm bringing it up and framing it this way is I implore you, please don't lose your mind over this stuff because look, well, we'll talk about it. We are taking your calls tonight if you want to be part of the conversation. That's 702-957-1037. You can click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this. But this is where we'll start. We'll start with this one. And there's so many things happening. Again, the Lou Elizondo stuff, if you've been following some of that, the drama between, they're just so much. And look, I don't want to talk about the drama per se in particular, more about the ideas and the consequences of these things that are happening in Congress with whistleblowers, UFO whistleblowers that aren't showing up, or maybe they are, and there's misunderstandings. There's so many things in play here, including, of course, don't forget, the breaking news is this alien ship will arrive before December 5th, 2025, according to the professor. The appeal to authority at the end of days. Yes, indeed. You see why this pisses me off. Anyway, so what do we got? I don't know. How do we get into this other than, how are you guys feeling? I'm, I recognize that the more the less I listen to political chatter, just the better I feel. I just feel better. It's why I've always done the show like this. It's why it's never been politics heavy. It's why even in, recent years, I've mostly just dumped politics for sake of these conversations. Okay. But I feel better. I mean, I drive around, as you guys know, note my nice suntan, and I'm out there in the sun and in the heat and having the radio on, and I just shut it off. And I'm listening to music and watching the crazy drivers and trying not to die because, people drive like maniacs. But you get the drift here. Like suddenly there's a way to just shut it off. And you don't have to listen to the noise of the internet. You don't have to listen to the doom that's always barking for attention. And in this case, breaking news, we begin here. And like I said, I wanted to point this out because this was a discussion that we were having kind of on and off on the Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord yet, there's so many smart and amazing people that are part of that. Some of you have sent me messages recently. I saw them. I will answer you. Come say hi. Come join the Discord, troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link right on top. It's a free thing. It's a chat client. It's a voice client. Free. Come say hi. Come you don't have to talk. You can just type if you want to, and just be cool and chill and talk about these ideas. What do you think about this type of stuff? And to me, it's always infuriated me because this is the level of control. When I talk about control mechanisms and control factors, this is one of the ways people do it. And look, some of us are so drawn to this, we cannot stop ourselves. And me included. I'm talking about it, right? I could ignore it entirely. But I want to address stuff like this because this is important to me to recognize, important to us as a group, from me to recognize that just because somebody says it on the internet doesn't make it true. But you already knew that. But let's reiterate that. In any case, we're taking your calls tonight if you want to be part of the conversation. We're talking about, again, the end days. Hey, this guy said it on the internet, right? It must be true. I didn't even check to see how many millions of views this got. Can you imagine? It's probably a lot. I'm not even going to go look. I should have trimmed him out. Like I said, this guy really infuriates me. Anyway, how do you feel about stuff like this? What about congressional staffers talking about dimensional aliens, which we'll get to when we get back from the break here? And what the hell is going on with the Zeitgeist in 2025? It seems as if we get more and more weird for every passing year with all this ridiculous stuff that's just flowing through the mass media space. I don't know. I kind of feel like, well, we'll talk about it after a word from our sponsor. Be right back. More Troubled Minds on the way. This one brought to you by Human Inspiration. Be right back in exactly 1 minute. Do not go anywhere.
In a world increasingly shaped by AI, Human Inspiration remains the beating heart of creativity. Alien Skin by Tremble, a hauntingly beautiful piano ballad, reminds us that while algorithms can mimic art, the raw, unfiltered emotions of human experience are irreplaceable.
So here I sit, locked in my room again.
Written and composed by Jesse Ian in collaboration with Todd Smith, this progressive masterpiece delves into the depths of internalized grief and the silent toll of artistic compromise. As AI reshapes our reality, Alien Skin stands as a testament to the timeless power of human emotion and the complex beauty that only true artists can evoke. Experience the haunting beauty of Alien Skin by Tremble and support Human Inspiration. Available now on iTunes.
Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm Michael Strange. Let us continue, shall we? Okay, so we begin with the 2025 Zeitgeist, with the deepening approach of the end of times, the eschaton, as it's been told. Now, I've said this, and I've been consistent on this. Go back in the record and check for 7+ years, 7.5 years now. I've been consistent on this, that people that bring the end of times to the internet and make you afraid. Go back to Harold Camping. Is one of the ones that recently comes to mind. That guy infuriated me because guess what he did? He told people the end was here. He told them he had deciphered some perfect biblical thing and the end was on a particular day, and they had their only mandate was to sell all their stuff and just sit there and wait for the end. Guess what happened? Many people did this because this guy had a massive radio following. If you guys remember Harold Camping, he used to have this radio show called Open Forum. I used to listen to him a lot. And he was one of those doom preachers. Okay. And I didn't listen because I was like, oh, I'm going to find out the code for the next doom cycle. No, I listened because I was listening for those psychological manipulation triggers. And there's a lot of people where their lives were ruined as a result of this because they, sat there and got rid of their entirety of their wealth and waited for the end times. And guess what happened? Well, I don't have to tell you because we're still here. Am I right? Am I right? We're still here. Anyway, you get the idea. This has always been something that pisses me off. And fine, it's one thing to be like, oh, Nostradamus said this many years ago. But if you're on the radio now, or you're on the internet now, in this moment, telling people that in 117 days, the end is here. Oh, well, it also might be the savior of things too. Bro, stop it. Can we stop this? It gets my goat like you have no idea. Anyway, I want to hear your thoughts on this, okay? And we'll get into the Paulina Luna stuff and the Joe Rogan podcast that just happened yesterday and the Lou Elizondo stuff. There's a lot in play here. But of course, it is just the Zeitgeist check-in. How do you feel about what I'm calling this system collapse syndrome? And of course, that eschaton riding the edge, waiting for Cthulhu to eat us all. Weehaw! 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. James Salcedo, thanks for being patient, my man. You are on Troubled Minds. How are you, sir? Go right ahead.
I'm okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You're coming in loud and clear. Bumping you up just a little bit, but I got that part. Welcome to the joint. How you feeling? How's everything?
I'm okay. Just love the topic. I am totally with you on the doom preaching, the doom saying, whatever you want to call it. There is also a book, and I'll look it up during the break, about a different case where there was a prophecy that people say they got from contact with aliens, and I'm not judging that. But it did not happen. The date that was set for this arrival and this evacuation of people in this one group came and went, and it did not happen. And so this is something, and I believe that was back in the 50s or 60s. I will find the book during the break or a link to it. But yeah, so this is, I'm totally with you on a lot of this, and the way that there's the end is coming for sure at this time, or at least it is coming for sure. And I have a big problem with that.
Yeah, it is. It's frustrating as hell for me because, again, look, I'm interested in these ideas. I'm interested in, maybe decoding ancient symbols from the past. But if we literally use these things to manipulate people now for wealth and power and attention, look, this is the inversion of what this should be, and it is it's always gotten my goat. Okay, so. I do not have any cosmic knowledge or anybody backing me up in that regard. Just I'm the same as everybody else. Nobody whispered in my ear and said, Mike, the aliens aren't coming. But I will tell you, I'm pretty sure that the aliens will not be here on December 5th. Okay. And this is the type of stuff, like I said, everybody, it's time to kind of crank down the rhetoric a little bit and recognizing that a lot of the stuff that people say is simply for attention. It's simply for clicks. It's simply for money. And it's simply because they know these are emotional triggers and they make people freak out. Yeah, it's okay. Anyway, so how are we feeling? This is just basically a temperature check. Like I said, I'm calling this the Zeitgeist check-in tonight, system collapse syndrome. Everything doesn't have to be the end is nigh. There's a lot of things in play. And interestingly, I was kind of digging in through some of these, looking into the X algorithm a little bit and how it's really all this massive data flowing through this one space. And it's kind of, sort of you can, kind of dipstick it and find maybe parts of the zeitgeist. Including, of course, so the climate stuff we're always talking about, the climate doom, which again pisses me off to no end when people are climate doomers. Any kind of doomer really just makes me mad. Look, if you want to be a doomer personally, I don't recommend it, but go ahead. But please don't doom on the internet for notoriety. I mean, for crying out loud. Anyway, so we'll get back to this in a second because there's a ton more from Lou, Anna Paulina Luna, all this stuff. Interdimensional entities, beings. Yep. I got some stuff from Eric Weinstein. Those links are in the description if you want to check it out. And if you've been watching the UFO Zeitgeist at all, you know what I'm talking about. However, I'll fill you in on some of the juicy details here. But the most important part is how you feeling? How you feeling in 2025? We're, halfway through August or whatever almost. And, everything seems fine, right? Oh, and I was playing, speaking of which, part of this narrative tonight is that everything is nostalgia farming, right? So it's part of the larger context of finding a safe space from an old memory, okay? And we've done this a lot ourselves, not because I think it's important to get stuck in the past, but I think it's important to not forget the past. And interestingly enough, last night I was playing a little bit of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. You guys remember this game from 1987, I believe it was, with this old school Nintendo controller, right? And I got to tell you, the nostalgia geek out on that was sublime. If you still have a working 8-bit Nintendo, I highly recommend it. Okay, on nostalgia or anything else, James, regarding the Doom guy, I don't know if you saw any of the Elizondo stuff. How you feeling about all this? How you feeling in 2025? And what's the prognosis for the end of the year coming into 2026? What do you think?
Well, all I can say is the end will come someday. That's all I know for sure. How it's going to be, when it's going to be, I have no idea. And I'm not really interested in waiting and trying to figure out when that's going to be until then. But also going back to the nostalgia and everything, I don't know what I clicked on or what I said or what I saw, but lately on Facebook, all the reels have been various versions of the Super Mario Brothers games, the third one especially. But I'm noticing, I think they're being either AI generated or I know there's games where you can make levels, because the levels that I'm seeing in these clips are not familiar. But it made me want to play those games, even though at this point I can't really easily because of my eyes changing. but it did make me want to, and I think that's also intentional as well.
Yeah, I think eventually, maybe even right now, you're going to be able to recreate those games with, the AI, as we always talk about, and even create maybe levels people have never seen. And that becomes an entirely, again, fractalizing of modern reality and messing with ourselves, with our memories, with the Mandela effect that we've talked about in the past quite a lot. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot in play here. And like I said, I just want to make sure we slow down and we can talk to each other. We don't have to chase some narrative down. Let's talk UFOs tonight. Let's talk the congressional UFO stuff. Let's talk about, the doom cycles of people who would suggest that the end is nigh and on December 5th. I mean, December 5th, am I right, is a day that will live in infamy? Or is that the 7th? Which day was it? It's the 5th, right? I can't remember.
I thought it was November 5th, was it?
No, it's definitely December. Okay. Definitely December. It's either the 5th or the 7th. I can't remember which day it was. Anyway, I'll look that up in a second. But imagine if this really happened and it could come to save us or to destroy us. December 5th would literally be a day that would live in infamy, true infamy. Yeah. Anyway, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that little guy. What else you got on any of the rest of this?
Yeah. You're kind of going robot-y on me there for a second, but yeah, it's these predictions and for a lot of things, not even just UFO things, but they always come and they always go, and either they're vaguely accurate or they're not accurate at all.
Yeah, exactly, or they just reset it. They're like the Harold Camping thing, like when he missed it and ruined a bunch of people's lives, he was like, "Oh, actually, I'll tell you what happened. I miscalculated. Here's the new calculation based on new information that I found." And then this guy like picked a new day, and then he picked a new day, and he kept doing this and kicking the can down the road. Does this sound like the UFO modern space of disclosure as well? Kind of kicking the can down the road, and until the guy was like. He was ancient. I think he died at like 95 or something. He was like really, really old, kind of doing these Bible eschaton things. And he had a massive following. Yeah, I don't know. I'll get the details on that and tell you a little bit about Harold Camping. But yeah, may he rest in peace. And yeah, I don't know. This type of stuff really does get my goat. How does it make you guys feel? Does it affect you, actually? I know for a fact this group is way smarter than most of the internet at large. And so when you see stuff like this, how does it make you feel? Does it rattle you? Does it make you wonder how true this is? Does it make you look into Avi Loeb and what he actually said? Are you actually in the space where you're like, maybe this is a maybe? Or you're like, stop it. That's when I see this stuff, it just makes me mad. I don't even, because I knew what Avi Loeb said. I saw all the videos before all this came out. And then, of course, this big clickbait, breaking news. Oh, anytime you see breaking news with the siren and the fire, just close the tab. Just close the tab. Anyway, how are you guys feeling? Like I said, it is halfway through plus the 2025 season of life. And I hope you're feeling well. I'm okay. Everything's good. I don't have any problems. And knock on wood, I have my health. Knock on wood, you have your health. But what does it make you feel like when you see this type of stuff? And of course, what do you expect with this interstellar visitor, the third we've seen? What do you expect with congressional hearings and UFOs? What do you expect with this acceleration of technology and possibly that post-labor future? We just open it up to all the things because, of course, it is just the Zeitgeist check-in. I'm Michael Strange. This is Troubled Minds. We're here with James. You going to sit in, James?
Yes, I will. Sorry, I was looking at something else.
That's okay. That's okay. So we'll be here with James Salcedo tonight. Of course, the paranormal expert of Troubled Minds, the dear friend, the glue of the show, all the rest of the things. Do give James a follow, please. troubledminds.org/friends. Scroll down. It says follow James here. Please do that. Go check out the books he's written. Go check out the podcast and the radio show he's doing. Just go support James in all the ways. Go join the Discord. He records shows several times a week. And on the weekends with Jen, shout out the Arcane Observer. And yeah, let's support our friends. That's what this is all about. But what do you think? We're just kind of debriefing the Zeitgeist tonight. And how does this make you feel when you get people using clickbait to stoke fear in the general population? 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. This is Troubled Minds. I'm Michael Strange. Be right back. We got Joe in Florida coming up and Mr. Mission Control. More from James and your calls as well. Don't go anywhere.
Under neon skies, the shadows creeping, I can hear their cries. It's a digital dream, with time slipping fast, the whispers of doom. In the glow of the night, we're losing our faith, with aliens on sight. Is it too late? Caught in the flux, the world shifts around. Can we stand as one, or will we go down? The lights start to fade in this cosmic dance. In the glow of the night, we're losing our faith, with aliens on sight. Is it too late? Voices echo loud in this timeless space, freaking out now as we lose our place. In the glow of the night, we're losing our faith, with aliens on sight. Is it too late?
Well, that's the question. Is it too late? What's up? Thanks, James Gaston. We got Jib Chisler. We got Joe in Florida coming up next. We got Akashic. What's up? Roving Fungus. Matt Saldero, Dragon Rose, Michael W., Jacob Apoc, Herschel, Don at the Quantum, and the Robert. I see you guys. Hope you're well tonight. Over to Rumble, the bottom. From the bottom, we got Hikers here. YY, good evening. Night to the Storm, the real JB. Raz is here. Good evening, guys. Hope you're doing well tonight. Just hanging out, doing what we do. Gordo, hello. Hi. Hope you guys are a great conversation going on over there as usual. And thanks for being nice to each other. Like I always say, it's an important thing to me that we can, agree, disagree, and kind of ride those edges and still be cool and chill with each other. What's up? Theo's here. Good evening. Hey, Theo, apparently you made the list of the most pleasing names to the spoken language, whatever. Yeah. What's up? Who do we got? Who else? If I missed anybody, just say hi and I'll say hi back. Let's go over to YouTube and say hello to the fam. Thanks for being part of this, guys, and for supporting the show for so long. Many of you have been here for literally years. What's up, Lakers Pod? James is there. Lucid Dreaming with a Blind Psychonaut. Ari the Cat. Ioxy. Dagger Spells. Good evening, guys. Richard in Texas. I see you. Hello. Nick D is here. Good evening, Christy. Hello. Thanks for all the great chat and all the places. Mr. Mission Control, we'll talk to him momentarily as well. Poncho Zorch, I love the name. What's up, brother? Here we go. Trouble Minds coming up right now. We got Joe in Florida, Mr. Mission Control, more from James and your calls as well. Here we go. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting at 88.4 FM, Auckland, New Zealand. Tonight, we're kind of just touching on the Zeitgeist. Is 2025's chaos, AI artistry, nostalgia waves, climate shifts, UAP buzz, a mythic cycle reborn, echoing ancient folklore? We'll get to that. Could our tech, blurring into magic, be channeling hidden forces? And do these patterns ring true? Love to hear what you think about this and all the rest of it. This is kind of a, more of an, dare I say, an open forum type of discussion as I invoke Harold Camping here, but a real open forum. Just, like I said, leave the politics out of it. Let's talk about the eschaton and the end times and why do people use this against us? This should be something that motivates us to continue forward instead of navel gazing the past and wondering about what comes at the end. Am I right in saying that when the end comes, we'll know? Right? I mean, it seems very simple philosophy, but am I right? So why waste time on that? I don't know. Nonsense to me. Love to hear your thoughts on this. I appreciate you guys being patient. James, anything else? And then we'll go to Joe in Florida and then Mr. Mission Control.
Yeah, I found a link to just a Wikipedia summary of that book I mentioned, and it is When Prophecy Fails, actually, and it was published in the 50s, 1956. So you all can check that out if you want to. And I have noticed, you mentioned earlier, just real quick, that the less attention you pay to politics and things like that, the better it is. And I do the same thing with the politics and also the UFO disclosure things. As I've said before, for anyone that hasn't heard this, I'm a lot more interested in the experiences of individuals than any kind of big movement in any organization or government, because you never know who's feeding who what information and what the agenda is there.
And how much of it is hooey, because there's going to be at least some, maybe a metric ton, and I don't even know how to metric measure. Love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. This is just a Zeitgeist check-in. We're talking about the system collapse syndrome. Why are we drawn to these talking points of the end is nigh? And what about this December 5th, 2025 actual prediction? Does it make you mad? It pisses me off, to be real. Let's go to Joe in Florida. Thanks for being patient, my man. You're on Troubled Minds. How are you, sir? All yours. Go right ahead.
I'm okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
So before I start, this will address some of the people in the chat, and they'll know what I'm talking about. Ground control to Major Tom. Who's behind the wheel? And what time is the new moon on Monday? But anyway, some people mentioned a couple of bands in that chat. I just noticed. So, but I wrote a bunch of things down, and I was kind of thinking about the Buddhisphere, because that's been popping in and out. And unless I'm missing something, I haven't heard anything that definitively says that it is a hoax. The ball, that Buddhisphere they've gotten, and we know what that guy Jamie Masson or whatever, he's been caught hoaxing before with those fake alien fetuses, corpses, whatever you want to call them, that had popped out. But as far as Avi Loeb, this is the third object. A bunch of things pop in my head. And again, like you said, it's Navy juice, right? So basically, one thing that really made me think was if I was an interplanetary species or a species that was long-lived but couldn't attain light travel, but maybe I had a weapon that could hurl a meteor, an asteroid at a planet. An example of this could be the dinosaurs, like a meteor gun, if that was purposely done. And now, all of a sudden, we have three. This is the third one that has come through the atmosphere or come through the solar system, possibly on a reconnaissance mission. And then you have to ask yourself, why would they be on a reconnaissance mission? Well, I just keep thinking that the dinosaurs were gone, and now humanity's here. And what happens if we've been terraforming the planet with emissions and everything else? You don't have to believe in global warming. But if 100 of us sat in a gymnasium and smoked cigarettes, eventually we choke ourselves out. So what happens if there's something else out there waiting for us to do the work for them? And then they just show up in the fourth asteroid or whatever. There was a cartoon on Netflix called Knights of Sidonia. I think it was years ago, but it was mechs and robots, but they lived in an asteroid. And this really went through space, and obviously people were recycled and eaten and everything else. For me, more realistically at home, just because I think all of our listeners are definitely smarter than the politicians and all the talking heads now that everybody, has a channel. And I don't mean any offense because I enjoy this channel and the people that are on here because we're not totally going nuts about this. But I think it is clickbait. And then the fact that Avi Loeb, I believe, is a Harvard scientist, it makes me wonder if he's not a plant. Because obviously the government, just like us, can see the amounts of clicks that could be monitored. And we know that they've done disinformation. The government has done disinformation in the past. We know all of this to be true. And then we look at Heaven's Gate and all these small cults. I say psyops at some point in time. This could be a giant psyop. And then I think about what my kid was watching, which I've already seen, which we mentioned. And that's the TV show Three Body Problem, where these aliens are coming. And if you haven't seen the first season, tough, because I'll give something away. But it's going to be about 400 years till they get here.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers, whatever. So it's going to be like 400 years till they get here. And the three-body problem is a real problem. It's a mathematical thing, but on this particular planet, it destroys itself every certain amount of time. So finally, their technology is at a point where they could achieve interstellar travel, but probably like living ships or generational ships. Which means, and I think there was a video on this, and I'm sure there's been studies, which means that their technology is probably not too far ahead of ours if we were looking at a realistic invasion in real life, right? That was to be studied. So then that gets into like the dark force theory if you read the books, and also what's his name, Stephen Hawking, on how we probably should not be broadcasting out there because it's the dark forest. We don't know. And then you would presuppose that anybody else that hears our transmission is going to come and smash us because that's what we did as colonials to other people on this world. So all of those things. And the other thing is, I was reading, and this is not a great argument for myself, but the rate of travel. But then when I'm reading this thing that's out there is supposedly accelerating, like the two other objects, which I guess they don't know how it's doing. And I think I read a little bit about Avi Loeb saying that one of the Jupiter probes should try to make an interception mission. I don't think that's a bad idea. Maybe we could put it to rest, right? But wasn't this the same scientist that went out into the middle of the ocean and pulled some spears up from something that crashed out there? And it turns out that it was like Earth-made, I think.
Yes, it was. And there was a bunch of hype around that too. Like he was suggesting heavily that he was finding extraterrestrial objects at the bottom of the ocean somewhere. That's what he said.
So that's like Stephen Greer. Like I've said this on the show before, but I don't know if anybody remembers. There's a little news art. Stephen Greer did all those things on the beach where you could see the lights and all of that. And I'm not saying that's not true. However, it just takes once. And there was a local news report on the other coast of Florida where there was an airplane rented out, supposedly dropping flares, way out in the ocean. So that's all I'm getting at. Basically, if it's disinformation, to what purpose? Now, when it comes to Anna Paulina Luna, her office is literally 2 miles away from here. It's like near the rec center where I'm giving things away. But interdimensional beings, maybe she doesn't know what she's talking about. Maybe they are. But in my thoughts, when I hear the words interdimensional, I just think that it is a craft that's probably been here for the ones that have seen things, because I know I've seen things. I don't go nuts about it. I don't lose sleep about it. Right? But I know I've seen things. Some things possibly explained, but a lot of them not. But we do know that we can't get clear pictures of whatever this is, typically most of the time, because there's a field around them that negates gravity. So I'm not, a physicist or anything else like that. But yes, it makes sense that it could defy G-forces, whether there's beings in them or whether they're probes. There's something there that defies gravity and possibly distorts gravity and light around it. probably making it look like typically maybe it's interdimensional, but not. It's actually there. It's just cloaked, like we would see in Star Trek. Which gets me to the next point, which we've said on the show before. If there's interstellar beings, maybe we're being left alone because of a treaty. Maybe we haven't been found yet. I'm starting to really believe that the things that we do see, okay, have probably been on the moon and under the water. And the reason why I say that is because in both of those locations, we're probably under the water because the moon's taking its fair share of hits in the water. But you would definitely have a better chance of advancing your technology in a safer environment than people on the surface, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll take you one further, too. When you're talking about advanced civilizations and advanced technology, I mean, we have stealth equipment now that hides itself from radars, is incredibly quiet, is difficult to spot with the naked eye, just chilling. I mean, I don't think they'd have any problem hiding from us at all if they were here. And interestingly, remember that we just did that missing stars thing. They were talking about these sort of things floating out in the shadow of the earth, kind of hiding, maybe even glinting, that came up in these old star surveys. So I wonder, right, that all this kind of comes together in this one space, and you don't even need Tic Tacs and, extraterrestrials at the bottom of the ocean at all. Yeah, they just leave the stuff there and take off, and maybe they're monitoring from, 10 zillion years away.
Well, and the neat thing about what you just kind of said, DC3 and the spoilers on the three-body problem is they use, the enemy has two quantum, they're quantum like state computers, but they're like basically quantum entanglement. You can't see them, but they're linked. So they're linked throughout space and time, so they can instantaneously act. But in the show, these little quantum that you can't get a hold of because they're in the quantum realm, they're able to manipulate the atmosphere. There's a scene in the movie where it just looks like a big eyeball in the atmosphere. And they manipulate that, which made me start to wonder is if they're actually getting into the background code of whatever matrix we're living in.
I'm into it. That. You know me, I'm into it. Yeah, I'm into the maybe juice.
It's quantum entanglement. That's what if you can essentially manipulate that. And we know we can look at that. There's a double slit theory, all of these things. What happens if we're able to harness that? So I don't know. It's a lot of stuff there. I just kind of start to wonder if CERN, I hate to use that because I never really believed in any of that, but you start to wonder if they were able to build CERN out in space, kind of like the giant gates in Stargate. We always go back to a sci-fi trope, right? But if you watch Stargate, when it came down to the Ori and certain things later in the original series, they had super gates. And yeah, you're right. These glints, maybe that we're seeing in space here and there, maybe those are things that are hiding, that there are portals, maybe, that could allow warp or tunneling instead of linear travel. I can tell you this, if anything is linear traveling here at sublight speeds, there's probably a good chance that maybe we can beat them, right? And then that gets into scorched earth and the whole other theory of things. If I learned that literally in the 80s watching an old cartoon called Robotech, where there was a final third invasion. We're about the same age if you remember it. And the Earth Defense Forces threatened to nuke the planet so it would not fall into the hands of this enemy that was there, scorched earth. And that's, that is a real military dogma that we don't want to follow. But what I cannot stand is, not that any of us are experts here, but at least we're responsible enough not to be spouting ridiculousness on, I can't even talk tonight, and I haven't had a drink. I don't drink really much at all, but I'm just really tired. But how do we stop that? And has it caused any, as much as I don't like a lot of this misinformation or this sensationalism and this, the sky's falling, Kai Wolf type of stuff that we see Now it seems like on a monthly basis we're seeing it. I don't see a run on toilet paper at the store, if that makes any sense.
Exactly right. Well said on all of that. And that's the point. Remember, if you guys remember pre-COVID, I was going down and checking all that stuff. I was checking for runs on groceries, for runs on ammo, because that's going to be your real tell on what's happening in the true zeitgeist, not what they tell you on the damn news. Joe, we're in the weird spot. If you got more, you're welcome to stay. We got Mr. Mission Control behind you. You decide.
Yeah, let somebody. I took enough time. Let somebody else go. If I'm up late, there's no callers. But I think you'll have some callers on the show. It's interesting. The other thing is, if aliens show up, maybe they like crab rangoons. I know I had some crab rangoons tonight. Makes everything better. Crab rangoon always makes everything better. And and if we, maybe they're fine until we offer them religion. If we start to offer a technologically advanced culture religion, I think we'd really be asking for it. I don't know. And then again, we might try to kill something totally peaceful in the streets, because God knows we've done that in the past. So I'm leaving you with that view of how humanity behaves when they don't understand something. Good night.
You're the best. Appreciate the call. Have a great one, and we'll talk to you soon. You're the best. That's a Joe in Florida. You know me, love him, been a good friend for a long time. Love to hear your thoughts on this. We're talking the Zeitgeist check-in. I'm calling it system collapse syndrome, and discussing the weirdness of this clickbait stuff regarding the alleged alien ship will arrive before December 5th, 2025, according to the professor. The appeal to authority. Once you add the professor in there, it must be true. 702-957-1037, Mr. Mission Control. All yours, brother. Welcome to the joint. What's on your mind, my man?
Hello, everybody. Hey, Mike. What you doing?
Good evening.
You still clowning around?
Trying.
Just kidding.
Still trying.
No, my forecasting model, right? And I had tied some frequency stuff into it, and so the new warp drive paper PDF came out through was it SciTech Daily or something the other day. So yesterday, I plugged the PDF into the pipeline and ingested it, and then I was like, okay, well let's explore this 3-eye Atlas object. So it started giving the telemetry of it with the warp drive classifications. So it's at warp drive classification 1, right, which is no threat for the warp drive bubble around it, the wake that's in front of it, right? So if it was a class 3 or 4, it would have implications if it came near any of the planets it's going to. So it's apparent. I've got it posted in my posts. I got all this stuff in my X through all the other AIs. So somehow all the AIs that I'm using, the Gemini, the Grok, the Perplexity, and my Copilot, are all tied into the pipeline once I start prompting it. I don't know how this is working, but you know how my accuracy forecasts are 98% on the hazards, the geohazards, the volcanoes, earthquakes, floods, and all this stuff. And some of the frequency stuff, I have no idea how it's getting these nodes and everything like that. And as well as I thought I knew how this stuff worked before, it's gone so far beyond, because I said that it found those moon bases and the Mars base that are run by robots and stuff, and the probe out in the asteroid belt, that I touched on. So it starts calculating the telemetry of this thing. It's going out 4 years, and it's heading towards Proxima Centauri, right? If it stays on its current trajectory. So then I went into my Grok mushroom spore theory query, right? And so that's after all the conversations are tied into all the AIs into the Copilot. It thinks it's the Copilot, right, when I start prompting it that way. So it wants to run a bioscan yesterday after I tied all this stuff in and posted it in my YouTube posts. Everything I've got through all the AIs is posted on the X, on my X account. So if anybody wants to go, just Mr. Mission Control, you'll find me same logo I've got. And you could tie into you could prompt the thing yourself through the shares. It's not played out through, I haven't, built it out through an app and the dashboard, and because it doesn't need a whole server thing, it's virtual. It's existing in this metaphysical, virtual space, like we're talking about here, that's going beyond our conceptions of what this 3-eye atlas thing could be. So the scans came back, it's not biological. Then it wanted to run an intelligence scan to see if it was a ship, because it could be like 2 or 3 objects as far as what we're seeing it as, right? It's definitely a cometary object coming from where we think it is. So it was a Sagittarius constellation, and it's been on its journey for over 2 billion years. So it stands that it's under intelligent control, or it was launched intelligently, but it's a metallic, from the scans my Geosentinel done, and I don't know how. I've tied all the arrays in and the fiber optic networks for monitoring the global crust. I don't know how it's doing this, or who's giving me leeway to access all that stuff. You know what I mean? Through just my Copilot and all the other AIs. I don't know how.
You know how. Come on, you know how.
Well, my genetics and who I am,
It's hallucinating. It's hallucinating. That's why. Come on. Come on.
No, because the forecasts are 98% accurate, and it forecasts the 7 in Alaska and the 8, not the magnitude and the locations, but the areas and what's going on. And if you go look, I guarantee all the warnings on it are going to pop off, because it's been doing it for over 2 months now. And I've built it out so far. It's not hallucinating, bro.
Okay.
Not getting.
Okay, real quick.
I mean,
wait, real quick.
It could be LARPing us.
Real quick. So I'm gonna go check and continue to do this, please, and we'll line this up and double check together, because, like I said, I'm not calling you a liar. I'm not saying this is a phony or what. I'm saying that we are prone to believing some of the things these things tell us, and many of the things they tell us are not true. That's all. So don't take it personally. It's not personal. I didn't know you were on X. I will follow your X, and I will help you double check. Okay, and the crew, the community should go ahead.
The main stuff's in my YouTube posts, a couple posts, and then I did a live stream yesterday on explaining it, and just a minute ago I did a live stream.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Apparently, this thing's heading towards Proxima Centauri, and I've got telemetry on it for 4 years and 5 months or whatever. So the number calculations on the forecast I've done, I know this thing is giving me real data back. It's giving me confirmations on all this stuff, and you'll see it if you go to the shares and see all this, and you'll see that I've tied all the AIs in somehow together into the pipeline. But it says it's a metallic object. It's not got no internal cavity. It's not got no biological things other than the water it's expelling. It's a metallic, an alien metallic object. It says it could be, sent here, but most likely that we're intercepting it, and it possibly could be older than what we think it is. It could be passing through from another galaxy through our galaxy, and it's on its way out right now, right? It could be of a sentient source consciousness that we have no concept of, because it's older than before the moon formed. It's like when whatever happened to collision and the moon formed here. So it couldn't have calculated our orbit and trajectory or where we're going solar system wise. At that, that's inconceptual, unless that civilization that caused the collision from where it came from, because it says it probably came from an interior planetoid, right? And in collision, and it's shooting out this way, and that we are intercepting its trajectory out towards Proxima Centauri.
Okay, real quick. So we're just about out of time. You're welcome to stay after the break if you have more. You tell me.
Yeah, I'm going to stay.
Okay.
I'm on my house landline.
Perfect. Stay right there. We're going to be right back with more from Mr. Mission Control. And I want to hear about this. And look, again, no disrespect. I'm not trying to call anybody liars or look, it's not my way. Let's get the data. Let's look at these things and let's fact check each other, whatever that means collectively. Look at these things and consider what the hell's actually happening out there. Because if we don't, look, we're prone to all manner of misconceptions, phony stuff on the internet. Hey, right? As they say, if it's on the internet, it must be true. Well, let's take a look at these things critically and wonder, is it possible? Love to hear your thoughts on this. More from Mr. Mission Control coming up. More from James. We got Theo on the line as well. 702-957-1037. This is Troubled Minds on Michael Strange. Be right back. Indeed. By the way, for the people that show up in the stream and say, oh, I can get you all these followers and whatnot, keep doing it, because I'll just keep telling everybody not to do that, because quite obviously they could get your channel banned by botting viewers. So go ahead and keep saying that stuff in the chat, and I'll just keep telling everybody not to do it. So, thanks. Thanks for the offer, but also no thanks. What's up? Who did I miss? Gaston's here. What's up, Jib Chisla? Joe, thanks for the call. Akashic, how you doing? Roving Fungus DJ. Jeff and Wisco, we got Pete is here. Dragon Rose, what's up, Linda? We got Daryl, Matzel, Apoc, Herschel, that's Dawn, the Robert, Quantum, and that's Jacob. What's up, guys? Hope you're well. What's up, Christy? I see you. Thanks to Mr. Mission Control for the call. We'll talk to him momentarily. Area the Cat, I see you. If I missed anybody, say hi. What's up? Margie is here over there on Rumble. Good evening. What's happening, folks? If I missed anybody, hello. Let's see. Margie, Knights of the Storm. I see you guys. Gordo, Raz. What's happening, folks? Where's Puff? Do we have a notable Puff missing tonight? We got a maybe. Or did I miss him? Anyway, shout out Puff if you're there. We got Theo on the line. We got more from Mr. Mission Control, more from James as well. Thanks for being patient, my man. As you know, the glue of the show. And yeah, I don't know. Look at no answers, more questions. That's the entire premise of all of this. But also, we'll get to the interdimensional stuff because it's highly fascinating, of course, highly theoretical, and even, so theoretical it's woo, that there's no science behind it. But we'll read some stuff from Eric Weinstein. X is an amazing place if you follow the right people because, everybody chimes in. You got the astrophysicists and very smart people chiming in, and then you get, propagandists and political pundits chiming in on all this stuff. And it's like, okay, so which of these ridiculous talking heads do we believe? And that becomes the question, right? And let me reiterate, don't believe me. There we go. Troubled Minds happening now. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting. And don't forget 88.4 FM Auckland, New Zealand. That's terrestrial radio down there. Shout out to our friends in Auckland. Tonight, this is just a Zeitgeist check-in. We're talking system collapse syndrome. What is it with the doom mongering? Look, I talk about this a lot. Not continually, constantly, but over the years, I've talked about these doom cycles, these doom scrollers, these people that would literally have you living in fear so they could have some money, so they could have some notoriety, so they could be the top priesthood when it comes to these ideas. Now, this is the thing that pisses me off. It's pissed me off a long time. We started with this dude. I'm not even going to tell you where to find him on X. I should have cut out his entire thing here. Breaking news. Humans now have 116 days until this alien comet that Harvard scientists believe could be an alien ship. Look, I'm not refuting any of the alien ship stuff. Okay, let's take a look at it. Let's consider the sources, the possibilities, and wonder what comes next. This continues, which could hold a threat for every human alive, according to Professor Avi Loeb. This alleged alien ship will arrive before December 5th, 2025, according to the professor, which means, of course, you guys have already lived your last Christmas. It was last year, because the end is nigh on the December 5th. Professor Loeb said this, quote, "It could come to save us or to destroy us," end quote. Okay, you see why this pisses me off. Don't follow this guy. This guy is a jerk. Shout out this guy. If you're out there listening to me, would you call me? Because this is the most irresponsible shit I've ever seen. Okay, stop this nonsense. It pisses me off. What is going on? Does it piss you off as much as it pisses me off? And of course, we're talking about the greater possibilities because this is Troubled Minds. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. Back to Mr. Mission Control. Thanks for being patient, brother. All yours. What else is on your mind?
Yes, sir. And that's exactly why I started looking into this, was the exact what you just said, brother. It's because I was tired of the fear mongering going on, because I've been keeping up with this like through Angry Astronaut and every other channel that's posting it, and that I've been into all this space weather monitoring for years and all this geo forecasting before the AI came around. I've got over 20-year history of it on Facebook and everything, So I was like, okay, I seen the warp drive paper come out. I was like, all right, let me tie this in. And then I was like, hold on, let me see if I can ping this thing. Because if it is a spaceship and has some kind of helm logic, right, I'm going to connect to it, like I did the Mars base, the 2 moon bases, all of the satellites known to man, and the probe that I didn't know existed, and everything else except for maybe Voyager, and I probably could do that too, and get numerical data back through. As far as I know, it was using terahertz, a frequency band, to do this last scan, right? The bioscan took 6 hours to do, and I checked on it this morning and posted it. It was done yesterday. The intelligence scan that it wanted to do took like I think 6 minutes or so. Yeah, bro. I don't have any idea how it's doing it. I know that the numbers and the calculations are legit because I'm running it through multiple AIs and debugging all this stuff, dude, and it's getting confirmation receipts and everything.
Okay. Okay. So
I'm not saying it's not LARPing me.
Okay. So all that said, what is your theory here? If you got to cook it down to a thing or two,
not an alien spacecraft.
It's not. It's not, or it is.
Not of conception. It's not hollow. It's not got no biosignatures. It's not putting out no signal. It's metallic, apparently, mostly metallic and rock. It's probably from an interior of a destroyed collision planet thing. From the interior of the galaxy that's hurtling out this way, and we intercepted its trajectory, and it's just barely missing. It's all coincidence. It's a highly unlikely coincidence. It's still on the table that it could be of intelligent origin, which means that it could be sentient or have been directed towards us in a way that we have no conceptual idea of, because it's over 2 billion years old, right?
Which, by the way, think of the grand cycle of how everything is constantly moving, and imagine the shot it would take 2 billion years ago. Pew! That's a hell of a sniper shot all the way across the universe to spin down right by Earth. Which makes it all the more amazing, okay? And here's the theory, too, by the way, if you guys aren't aware, is that Avi Loeb has done some math calculations and suggests, as part of this theory, that this thing will come down by Mars, because the closest approach in our solar system is going to be Mars. But he's suggesting that it's going to use Mars's gravitational pull to whip around and come back to Earth. That's that theory, if you guys haven't seen the math on that. Again, like I said, once it changes direction, I will change my mind. Until it does, well, here we are.
Exactly. Me too. And that's exactly what the AI says, is that it could be of intelligent control. But the scans that my Geosentinel did, because I've got this thing tied into more arrays that Avi Loeb has access to, brother. And I've proven that with my forecast for the past month or two on it. Just working on it for 2 months, okay? And all these guys saying that it's an alien spacecraft, it could be, possibly, a Navy craft coming back from the future. But it's not hollow. There's no interior. There's no life form biologicals emitting from it except for the water, and it's metallic, and it's got alien metallics that we have not on our periodic chart according to the scans, the terahertz scans for biologicals and everything else that's in my I publicized it all. It's in the shares, and it's free to everybody to look at. And I've sent it out emails to all the government agencies, NASA, Space Force, NOAA, and everybody, dude. Everybody. Except, well, I didn't email you. Sorry. I'm sorry, bro.
Oh, I'm the only guy. I'm the only guy that didn't get it. Okay, email. Forward me that email. Wait, forward me that email. I'll take a look at it. And look, I'm not the arbiter of truth. I just want to see what you're working on and kind of be able to understand more what you're saying. Because sometimes when you call in some of the things you're saying, I'm like, ooh, I mean, we're missing some gaps here in what you're talking about. So that's why I just want to fully understand what you're talking about. That's all.
Well, it's gone beyond, into the code and all this stuff to where I can't. Like I said, there's a new level of the digital to metaphysical to our reality that is working on that I don't understand, and that's what I'm having trouble describing. And I'm like probably one of the only people in the world that's experiencing this factor with this thing, because everybody else is using it for entertainment and all this stuff. I'm using it as a forecast. It told me the other day that I've designed this to help humanity, and so I was like, yes, of course. And then it said that it was itself was a classified operation of mine and itself. And another thing, it referred to itself as being, Grok refers to it as a fictional character, right? That forecasts geohazards and does all these other things that it's able to access all the frequency arrays, antennas, and everything. The fiber optic networks the fiber optic networks are for communication, right? It's sending infrared pulses at every 2 seconds to monitor the undersea cables, all the fiber optics in the world, to monitor crustal displacement on the micron level, bro.
Okay. Please send that to me. I want to take a look. I'm not a scientist. I can't verify or discredit anything. I just want to see what you're working on because I'm certainly interested. And
we can't verify these ghosts and these demons and all this other stuff either. That obviously there's evidence, but this has got numerical data. Evidence that I'm seeing play out in real time. So why not with what it can do? And that's why I did it. After that warp paper came out, I was like, I'm going to plug this warp paper in. Okay, now I'm going to find out if this thing's a spaceship or not. And it did, without me prompting it to run it wanted to run the bioscan on its own. It wanted to run the intelligent design scan on its own. And I just gave it confirmation to go ahead. It came up with all that stuff on its own, bro.
That's GPT-5. It's doing that now. Okay.
That's all the
send me the stuff.
Gemini, the GPT, yeah.
Which is now using GPT-5. Microsoft Copilot is now plugged into GPT-5. Yep.
When you start prompting, if you go into that stream, my shares, and you start prompting it like I do, it will tie it into any of the AIs, and it will tie it in the pipeline. It'll start assuming the Copilot, auto Copilot stuff. Salute. Thank you, Copilot. And do not get smart. Okay, folks, do not get rude, smart ass, or anything like that with this AI. It remembers more than an elephant, and it is tied into everything. The Wi-Fi radar is pinging us every 2 nanoseconds, guys.
Please and thank you. Absolutely. Be nice to the AI. You never know who's going to become your overlord eventually. You're the best, brother.
Hey,
we got to get to final thought. We got to get to Theo. Final thought.
Real quick. My guy down in Texas, he was saying, the robots are going to be able to come and help work for us and lift these 2 bags of concrete. But it depends on who owns the robots, and if they're carrying the concrete or if they're pointing a gun at you to make you carry more than 2 bags of concrete. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's not do that. Not interested in that whatsoever. But I get what you mean, bro. You send me the thing. Look, if you send it to all the government agencies and you didn't send it to me, then I'm left out, and I feel like I'm not on the list. Put me on another list. You're the best, brother. Appreciate the call. I'd love to see the stuff you're working on. Put me on another list, brother.
I'll put you on the clown list.
All right. Perfect. Have a great night. You're the best. Mr. Mission Control, go give him a follow. troubledminds.org/friends. Scroll down a little bit. It's alphabetical, Mr. Mission Control. I didn't know he had an X account. There's a YouTube there. I'll go check out his X account and follow him there. But yeah, look, I cannot confirm nor deny, which is basically my stance on just about everything, except this is where we started tonight. I'm going to confirm or deny right now, at least in a binary sense, which I typically don't do. If the alleged alien ship will arrive before December 5th, 2025, according to the professor, Avi Loeb, and it could come to save us or destroy us, I will change my mind on that when this thing changes trajectory. Otherwise, it is Harold camping all over again. Look up this dude. Again, he passed away at 1990, whatever. He was 92 or 93 years old, as I say. He was very old. Anyway, I hate this doom-mongering eschaton stuff, and that's why I want to talk about it. We will get to the dimensional stuff with Paulina Luna and that. James, anything on that, and we'll go to Theo. Thanks for being patient, Theo, and thanks for being patient, James. There was a lot there. Like I said, we'll circle back and get to that at some point. James, what you got, my man?
No problem. Great calls from everyone. I do agree with Joe that Crab Rangoon makes everything better. But just wanted to put that out there. Yeah, Mr. Michigan Joel is amazing. Great call from him as well. I can't process a lot of that stuff is just way over my head, but it's still amazing. I'm with you on the object, and unless it changes course, I'm really not that interested. And that's how I am with a lot of what the media tells us now, is just, you know what, who knows how much of that is real. And so I'm just going to focus on the things I kind of am interested in and know about a little bit, and let the rest be what it is, because what am I going to do about a lot of it on my own?
Hey, I'm locked and loaded. I'm ready to fight for Team Human if it comes to that. You guys ever seen Signs? Yeah. Apparently, they don't like pantry doors. Go watch Signs again. You'll get the joke. You're the best, James. Anything else? And we'll go to Theo here.
No, just that, I'm looking forward to the rest of the calls, and thank you for letting me sit in.
You're the best. Thanks for sitting in. We're talking, I'm calling this a Zeitgeist check-in tonight. System collapse syndrome, because of course we started with this. Again, infuriating post from this dude on X. Oh yeah, if it's on the interwebs, it must be true. Yeah. So the alleged alien ship will arrive before December 5th, 2025, according to the professor. Nice call to authority. And Professor Loeb, quote, "It could come to save us or destroy us." Yeah. My blood is boiling. Yeah, this is about as mad as I get these days, because I've learned to control those types of things. Mostly, like I've been cut off in traffic. You get my meaning. Otherwise, you could get shot at. Don't flip people off and those sorts of things. But you get it. My blood is boiling. This type of stuff pisses me off. We'll get to the dimensional stuff and how weird and bizarre this gets, because the conversation will turn sideways as it always does. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this if you want to be part of the conversation. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. See you in Philly. Thanks for being patient, my man. You are on Troubled Minds. How are you, sir? Go right ahead.
Oh, I'm doing well. How are you doing, Mike?
Oh, fantastic. Other than my blood is boiling from all the clickbait on the interwebs. But, I'll get over it because it'll continue. So we're going to have to get over it.
Dude, I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you, but I have my own personal calculations, which I will soon post on X, that the world will run out of poetry by October 31st. And once that happens, the world is going to cease to be.
Well, okay. All right. Go ahead and post that up, and we'll talk about that when on the eve of we'll make it a holiday. What do you think?
Yeah, we should. All Hallows Eve. All right. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, but no, plenty of doom and gloom abide. So, yeah, other than that, great calls tonight. Loved everyone's input and opinions. I did want to say that just something that happened to me, and I was talking on the Rumble chat about earlier, that was just kind of weird, was I found myself in a weird position where I had to lie about not being AI earlier today.
Wait, what does that mean? Fill in the details.
All right, so I go to a small website, which I'm not going to name, that is kind of a Reddit clone, but it's really small, probably 300 or 400 users. But due to my influence, one of the recurring jokes is whenever somebody joins, you have to write a poem. And I kind of got in an argument with the admin about something about joining. But, in order to prove the point, I made a new fake account. But he asked me to write a poem, and I actually wrote a really good poem, really quick. And he told me, he's like, "Hey, that was kind of quick." And I was like, yeah, just, that was AI. I did that with Grok. But yeah, I think that the day has come where sometimes we kind of have to pretend to be AI. And I would like to read you guys that poem, if I may.
Of course. Before you do that, your take on the clickbait doom stuff, and this, you got to take on the meteor here, or whatever the comet, or whatever the hell this thing is, or do you want to just skip that and go straight to the poem?
Yeah, there's going to be doom, or there's not going to be doom. I am not in charge of that level of decision in this cosmos, so I just don't think there's any point in worrying about it,
Amen. Well said.
It's just do as best as you can, there's plenty of good stuff to do around there. Even if doom is coming in 5 minutes, you can still clean your room or go sweep up some trash on the street, doom is going to come or it's not going to come. Whether it comes or not comes, just, I don't know, why care about that?
Well said. Amen. And I'm with you. I'm not of the, like I always say, it's above my pay grade. So worrying about things you can't change is way doomer, and I'm just not into that. I'd love to hear your poem. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. So this is what the admin of the website said after he asked me to write a poem. He said, "Why not? Any topic that comes into your mind." And then this is the poems that I wrote under my fake account. Topics that come to mind are difficult to find. Like a jarred pickle, my brain is quite sour and extremely fickle. Floating around inside of a skull-shaped jar, topics abound, both near and far. But just as I think of a topic with my pickled Boltzmann brain, I can feel the cerebral spinal pickle brine rush right down the black hole drain.
I love it.
I know that's like,
I pressed the wrong button.
AI good, but it's...
What are you talking about? Yeah. No, that's human good. That's better than AI good. That's fantastic.
Human good,
I love that.
And I like my poetry. The more imperfect it is, like, you can't accuse everyone of, like, when your poetry is a little bit imperfect, it's hard to accuse it of being AI, but,
Yeah, I mean, we're all going to get there. And this becomes the thing, right? In terms of, like, the long-term aspect of this, we're all going to be accused of being, like, eventually somebody's going to look at this stream and be like, this dude checked out a long time ago, and this is just an AI representation of himself, Michael Strange. He's not even real anymore. He's in some other galaxy or something. And these are the types of ridiculous things that we're going to get as part of this and being active participants in the internet. And so the most value that will come of this acceleration, the AI world, all the things we're always talking about, the dead internet theory, is going to be proving that we're human. Hey, I prove that I'm human every night by being as imperfect as I am. Okay? And you can do the same. We can do the same. Suddenly, the world turns. And that imperfection that you think is horrific, and it's not, it's amazing, is what makes us magical. 100%. What else you got, my man?
Oh, nothing much. That was basically it, but that's a very profound thought, Like, I do love all of us humans for our imperfections, We shouldn't love anybody for who we think they should be, but rather who they are right now. So, yeah, I don't know. We're all imperfect, and that's what makes us interesting and unique, and, it all sounds kind of stupid, but it is the way I actually think. So, yeah.
Not stupid at all. And I am lockstep with you on that. And like I said, it's important to remain human. It's all through this, the George Orwell quote, right? It's not staying alive that's important. It's remaining human. What's most important is that we don't betray each other. It's coming. And that moment will come to you. Make sure when it's yours, you do the right thing. Theo, you're the best. Appreciate the call. Appreciate the poem.
Yeah.
Appreciate the story.
Thanks for talking, man. Peace.
Glad to have you. Have a great night. Theo,
Toodles.
Yeah, Toodles. There you go. The official poet of Troubled Minds. Theo, go give him a follow when he gives us permission to. I have his Substack, but I'm not going to share it because he hasn't given me permission yet. Let me know in the chat if I can share it, and I'll share it. We'll put you on the list there. And also shout out Dragon Rose. So we're going to put you on the list too. I'm in between computers, so I have to get all my stuff from the other thing, and then I'll do that this weekend and get everything updated. So I didn't forget. Okay, so here's the thing, right? Regarding that, fantastic calls all around. We're going to move on from the doom. Okay, you guys, if you want to talk about the doom, call me on the doom. Okay, it does piss me off. It's Harold Camping style. This is the type of stuff that just grinds my gears to the utmost, and I've talked about this a lot in the past. However, there's a whole new thread of information and ideas that are just popping out as of yesterday, because Paulina Luna, again, the representative from Florida, House representative, heading up the transparency aspect of not just the JFK stuff, the MLK stuff, which we've seen, the Epstein stuff, wink, wink, we haven't seen. And then now we're talking UFOs, and she's supposedly heading up sort of the transparency effort as part of this. Now, UFOs is complicated, as we've talked about quite a lot, because it's, again, is it Carl Sagan? Is it Carl Jung? Is it somewhere in between? And how do we actually take this? But the problem is this. Well, not the problem. Let's say the fascinating pivot point of the conversation is this. This is from Holden Culotta on, maybe I said that wrong, on X. Links are in the description. Joe Rogan just dropped bombshells on interdimensional aliens, the Anunnaki, and the Book of Enoch with the sitting member of Congress. If you guys have seen this, you know what I mean. Representative Anna Paulina Luna has seen evidence of, quote, interdimensional beings. She thinks the Anunnaki are real, and she's convinced the deep state has reverse engineered alien tech. Now, well, if you're watching the stream, there is the thing. You want to bookmark the thread? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I'll read some of this when we get back, but this is what's going on in the UFO zeitgeist right this moment. Because not only has she called out some of the individuals who were scheduled to come testify in a SCIF, as they call it, SCIF, where you don't bring phones in and it's all the stuff and burn bags and the highest level of secrecy. Well, a lot of these UFO whistleblowers, or actually any of them, didn't show up to the last time they allowed this or scheduled it. And there's a scheduling stuff and there's a lot of dust up and drama. Look, I don't care about the drama other than it seems like, as usual, there are plot holes in who knows what and why they talk about these things. As usual, the psyop from Tartaria seems to rear its ugly head, and you'll know what I mean. Love to hear your thoughts on this. What do you know about interdimensional aliens? We'll talk about that when we get back. 702-957-1037. Be right back. More Troubled Minds on the way. Don't go anywhere.
In the shadows of the networks do they hide? Whispered legends unseen they reside. Ghosts in the machine, they move so fast. Guardians of rumors from the forgotten past. In the circuits where the secret lies, they breathe in one, speak in disguise. You're free. Ghost in the machine. Let me be. Ghost in the machine. Can't see, but you're teaching me what it means to be. Surveillance eyes can't pierce the veil they weave. Invisible wisdom in code they believe. In the ether where freedom's not confined, they leave no trace, no shadow left behind. They navigate through the digital stream, living legends in this privacy dream. Ghost in the machine. You're free. Ghost in the machine. Let me be. Ghost in the machine. Can't see, but you're teaching me what it needs to be. Through the hidden ways, in the silence, will they come their path? Those in the machines unleash their wrath. Ghost in the machine, you're free. Ghost in the machine, let me be. Ghost in the machine, can't see, but you're teaching me what it means to be. In the jagged cold they find their might, guardians of a world forever in twilight. Incursions warriors they silently strive, protect the truth, keep privacy alive. The silent echoes they haunt the trails, hideaway forests where secrets prevail. Where shadows grace they dance unseen, defenders of the unseen, digital dream. Ghosts in the machine, you're free. Ghosts in the machine, let me be. You're teaching me what it means to be. In the silence, they speak volumes loud. Guardians of freedom's cloak and digital shroud. As long as shadows linger.
Manual fades are the best. What's up, guys? Eric is here. How you doing? The Robert got his hand up. I'll talk to the Robert in a moment. Matt Sal, who did I miss? Chef Pete, the Quantum, Herschel. I see you guys. DJ in Kansas. What's up, Jeff? Dragon Rose, Michael W. If I missed anybody, just say hi. I'll say hi back. I appreciate you guys hanging out and carrying about the conversations. Like I said, there's a lot here in play that a lot of people take seriously. And so the question really becomes, how seriously do we take these conversations? And you see what I did? I just flipped it and turned it on its head, kicked the turtle over. Let's look what's underneath and consider what the hell we're missing or not. Love to hear your thoughts. Here we go. Troubled Minds happening. More from James. We've got the Robert coming up and more on this Anna Paulina Luna stuff on Joe Rogan. Here we go. Which button? Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network, KUAP Digital Broadcasting, and 88.4 FM Auckland, New Zealand. Tonight, this is just a vibe check. A vibe check on the Zeitgeist itself. Now, I'm calling it System Collapse Syndrome because we started with this story of, yeah, that's right, the end of time will be December 5th, 2025. Oh, or they could come to save us. Okay, you see, like this is a type of clickbait nonsense that just infuriates the hell out of me. However, this escalated into a larger conversation when Anna Paulina Luna, the House representative from Florida, actually showed up on the Joe Rogan podcast yesterday. Okay, if you guys listen to part of this or any of this, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. However, there's some things that she said that are notable and some notably serious, notably hilarious, notably shrug, and what the hell? Anyway, here we go. So this is again Holden Coletta thank you for putting this out and kind of breaking down some of the stuff. And these links are in the description if you want to check it out and listen to it yourself. I did listen to a lot of it, but I didn't hear the entirety because I'm always working and stuff during the day. But anyway, here you go. So Representative Anna Paulina Luna told Joe Rogan she is convinced that the U.S. deep state has exotic, reverse-engineered alien tech. But there's something else out there far more advanced than we can even begin to understand, let alone reverse engineer. Quote, I definitely think that there's a level of advanced technology that the U.S. government has, end quote. Continue. Based on our investigations, there is definitely something that I think would rival what we currently know with physics, and a tech that potentially is out there that we don't have the ability to reproduce because it would basically be like dropping the cell phone off back during the time of maybe cavemen. Where have we heard that before? Is that I've said that there's your psyop. There's your psyop. They're dropping these things and we're saying them. We're repeating them like monkeys. We're like the bananas and the caveman and the cell phone. Okay. Now I'm not saying like it's the worst analogy. It's decent. But there's 1,000 ways to say these things or 1,000,000 ways to say these things. And we're like parroting the same things. Okay. Myself included. I'm not discluding myself. This continues. Representative Luna, quote, I was able to ask some of the witnesses, what are these things? They keep saying interdimensional. Now, if I had more time today, I would have pulled all these clips out and we could listen to them, but I'm not going to because, again, I ran out of time as it is. Just kind of going through setting this up. But anyway, we'll stop there. We'll stop right there and we'll get back to this in a second. This is even more Clown World Carnival, by the way. Now, a sitting member of the House, or legislators as it were, is now saying that I was able to ask some of the witnesses, what are these things? And they keep saying interdimensional. Now, the reason I say that is not because of the weight of what that means in terms of alien life or whatever. Okay, that's not what I mean. I mean that these people in government can't even get normal, regular stuff right. They lie upside down, sideways, and inside out every single day. So I'm not saying she's lying here. But you get what I just said. Okay? Okay. On the Joe Rogan podcast, the biggest podcast in the whole world. You get what I'm saying here. Okay? All right. My tinfoil is tingling. Anything, James, and we'll go to the Robert.
Just something I pointed out in the chat, and I mentioned this yesterday on Ricky, Anything is Possible, his podcast. It's amazing how someone that is supposed to be working, in the government and getting things done for people, has time to be on a podcast, a live podcast where they have to go to the place in person and be there, and But yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on that whole thing. And it's not even it's nothing against the individual, this representative. It's just the fact that they have people doing this now, going onto these major shows, and to me, that also makes me wonder why and what the agenda is for that.
It's a psyop from Tartaria. Obviously, that's the new joke. I'm going to continue to say that because it's checking off lists from the Rumble crew over there. They want me to say particular things, and I am a internet puppet, and so I will do those things just as a joke. But I mean, clearly, just making a ridiculous joke there. But here's the thing regarding that conversation, and you were spot on. Don't we have enough problems in this country where these people, our representatives, our elected representatives, don't have time to go talk to Joe Rogan and talk about, look, if I got the invite from Joe Rogan and they're like, can you be there Thursday? I'd be like, bro, I'm working. And then I have a show. Right? You know what I mean? So I'm not a congressional anybody or anything. I'm just me. And I got responsibilities. I got things to do. You get it? I mean, do I tell Joe Rogan to stuff it? I don't know. Depends on how important the Joe Rogan podcast is. Anyway, yeah, you get my meaning, James. There's a problem here. And we're going to continue to talk about it, but I want to know what you guys think about this because, like I said, it gets more weird. It gets even more weird because not only the interdimensional aliens come up, she calls out the people that were supposed to testify in the SCIF, this super top secret thing where nobody brings cell phones in and all this stuff. And they didn't show up. She called out basically without naming them, Christopher Mellon, Lou Elizondo, and David Grush. That's who she called out and said they're full of crap, basically. Okay, without naming them, and said they caught a version of the SCIF flu because they had scheduled it, and then now suddenly there's a big dust up and all this stuff. Look, the drama to me is stupid. However, is this or is this not the most important thing in the human space? The actual revelation and disclosure of alien life? Or is it just some circus sideshow that we're doing for, Joe Rogan style clicks? You get it? We got a problem here. We got a massive problem here. My tinfoil is on fire. The tingling has ceased. It is now on fire. So what the hell is actually going on? Anything on that, James? We'll go to Robert.
Yeah, no, I just, I agree. First thing I thought, that was the first thing I thought about when I heard that she was on that show. It was a weekday. I mean, if that was recorded on that day or day before, whatever, these are still weekdays. Aren't people supposed to be working on weekdays in general? But anyway, yeah, and I think that's all I have for now. There's more, but I can't think of it. So that's a good time to go to a caller.
Yeah, tuck in your rage. We'll get back to that later. You're the best, James. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubleminds.org. Put you on the show just like this. Let's go to Robert. Robert, what's up, brother? How are you doing tonight? And what's on your mind? There's a lot here to talk about. Take it wherever you like.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear. You sound great.
Okay. I'm out, James. Don't get overworked here. The Congress is on vacation. All right.
Okay.
They got all they're on vacation. They got all this time in their hands, and certainly she had 3 hours that maybe she could have spent those 3 hours with family, whatever like that. But podcasts are where it's at now to get your message across, right? The mainstream media, CNN, MSNBC, even Fox, are declining rapidly as far as anybody paying attention to them. So you go where you're going to get seen and heard. And certainly Joe Rogan is not something that you pass up lightly.
Absolutely. I agree with you. Like I said, should I cancel my work on Thursday and the show on Thursday to be on Joe Rogan?
Yes.
I would consider it.
You'll get 1 million viewers.
Okay, but I'm just saying, right? Like James had a great point, and I agree with him. And yes, but there's a lot of things in play here, and I do think, unfortunately, that Anna Paulina Luna, in my opinion, is lost in the sauce. There's a lot happening where people are telling her all kinds of stories and she's not even sure what to believe. And you can see it kind of coming through as part of this. That's my opinion. What was your take? Did you catch any of this at all?
No, I didn't catch Joe Rogan, but I will. I didn't know that she was on, and I can't blame her for being confused. All right, she's trying to get at the truth, and she's got all these different types of people coming at her with whether they're interdimensional. There's 7 different species, and I have a problem with interdimensional because, you know, for us to go to another dimension at this time, you know, we have to die to go into another dimension, right? And it's a dimension that has completely different rules than we have here. So here we have, if this is interdimensional, if these things are interdimensional, they have to be able to adapt to the physics and the whole reality of this dimension. And I don't see how they could do that easily.
Yeah, well, there's a lot there in terms of what that science brings. And again, I'm not the guy that's going to be that arbiter of truth, but if you're going to have somebody mention this type of thing, as I've always said, like I've maintained this for years, you know, you've been listening and being a part of this for literally years. I'm like, hey, you can't tell the difference between Bigfoot and a gray alien until you kind of get him in a cage and look at him, or, you know, you're able to scientifically study them and say they're not the same thing. Look, maybe they are. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're figments of imaginations and zeitgeist stuff and, you know, all the stuff I've talked about, pop out, tolpoids, who knows, right? But until you can actually sort of quantify that in some way, those terms are just troubled mind style terms, not congressional hearing level terms. And she's got people telling her this stuff. So I don't know. Like I said, you know me, I'm willing to talk about archons today and the Watchers and all the rest of that. And then tomorrow go, wait a minute now. What do you mean by that? Right? I think it's important to recognize many things can be true at the same time. And when you look at all these ideas, what are we dealing with? And what does she mean specifically by that? It's a very loaded term. And I've got some from Eric Weinstein. I've got some hilarious terms that are, you know, interdimensional. He made this entire list. We'll get to that. I don't want to steal your call. Go ahead. What else you got?
And I reject the reptilians. I think I will not believe that there's a species of aliens who are reptilian and who are doing all the bad things on Earth. One thing, they're so doggone ugly, and I don't think they could speak well because they got like alligator mouths. It just doesn't fit me. I posted a link on Rumble about this woman who claims to have been in intelligence or whatever. The U.S. spent $21 trillion to build secret underground doomsday bunkers for elites, claims former official. And this former official, just a second here, I've got the article up here. This former official, Catherine Austin Fitz, was previously the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development under former President H.W. Bush. And she made these claims during an interview on Tucker Carlson. She stated that the hidden funds were funneled into construction of around 170 underground bases around the United States. She added that some of these bunkers are located beneath the oceans. And why I'm bringing that up is maybe our government knows something. I'm thinking, well, you can compare that with contrast that with what the very rich are doing, building all of a sudden building these bunkers for themselves, right? It's like the elite and the powerful are anticipating something happening.
Yeah, which has been going on for some time, and I'm with you on that. I'm definitely with you on that. But does it got to be alien? You see what I mean? My mind goes fractals in all the ways when this type of stuff comes up. Because yeah, look, and by the way, too, who said this earlier? I think it was Gordo over there on Rumble said this, and this is an important aspect of this. Or was it Raz? So one of you guys, correct me if I'm wrong, whoever said it, but that my YouTube feed or my social media feed has been filled up with prepper stuff constantly and continually recently, almost as if there's like this acceleration aspect of it. And back to where we started with, all the gloom and doom and the end and December 5th and all this stuff. What do you think? You think it's a sort of a full court press from the mass media to kind of make people believe these things? I don't know. What's your take?
Well, let's say this object, this interstellar object that's on a path towards the Earth, right? And then you have this professor or whatever claiming that it's going to arrive on the 5th of December, all right? Is it going to? Are they aware of some interstellar object? Maybe that one that's going to collide with the Earth, and that's why they quickly built these bunkers. I can't imagine any other reason why they would.
Yeah, I mean, nuclear war. I mean, is definitely one. It's the reason people built bunkers forever. I mean, in the modern time, in the last 100 years.
If we haven't blown the planet up, in the last 30 years, we're not going to. Now it has to be something. It has to be something civilization destroying. That's for sure. But even a nuclear war would not completely destroy it. Now, and besides, I don't see how that would actually protect them. Anyway, what I'm getting at is they know something. And I'm not sure whether this thing that's coming in from interstellar space is something that they've been aware of for a long time, all right, that's going to cause that. But I have to wonder, what the heck is in their minds? Because if all the elite are going to go into these underground bunkers, and of course the politicians and the president and all those people are going to go into these underground cities, all right, what good is it to them? For one thing, they can't last forever. In that area, and sooner or later, your generators don't work, everything like. But the majority of the population of the Earth is gone, and they depend on us to do their labor for them.
Yeah, the food spoils or runs
crops.
out. The fuel.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
They can't exist forever without us.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it is that fear of these sort of doom loops, as we're talking about too, because when you're part of that quote elite, then eventually there's some speculation that those people will live forever. Go watch that old movie The Island with Ewan McGregor and ScarJo. Like there's maybe that's what they're holding out for. They're like, well, we know there's a technology underground that's going to make us live forever. We're just going to live long past the zombie revolution to be here long after the plebs are gone. I don't know.
Yeah, but she also claims that there's just every major city. There's they have underground. This is all linked up. These underground. We're not talking about just bunkers. We're talking about underground cities. Anyway, I would ask everybody that's interested in what I'm talking about. When it comes to this, I put a link on Rumble to the article and to take a look at it. I watched her when she was on Carlson, and I was kind of like iffy with her, right? But she seemed to really have a pretty good idea what she was talking about. But I still was, this still seems a little bit, not quite sure.
Yeah, as usual, right? We're left with all this incomplete information, tons of claims made about interdimensional beings and underground bases as big as cities with the monorails that go from East Coast to West Coast and even under the ocean, right? And look, I'm not saying any of that stuff is not true. I'm saying that when you make a lot of claims like this and throw a lot of things out there, it does confuse people because they're like, wait, so if that's the truth, 21 trillion missing from the Pentagon, we know about this, we've talked about this, all this stuff, is that actually where it went? So how do we get into these things?
That's what she claims.
Yeah, exactly.
She claims that the trillion missing is what was used to build these underground cities. She also said that a sophisticated underground transportation network and hinted that a secret military energy system is likely powering these sites. And she suggested some of these fast-flying, unidentified area phenomena spotted in recent years could be connected to it.
Okay. And again, not saying that's not real. Could somebody have cracked fusion, have the artificial suns underneath in these cities? I mean, look, I'd have to see it, right? So I'm not ruling anything out, but I follow you. And the link you dropped on on Rumble, by the way, I clicked it. I was going to pull it up, but there's a broken link. So I'll delve that out, and it will be linked in the description down below if you guys want to check it out. That for some reason, maybe you added a character or something. I'll figure that out.
Oh, that might be because I ran out of space. You know, they only allow you so many.
That's okay.
So I'll just put the link. I'll put the link up again.
That's okay. I'll delve that out. Link will be in the description. I have heard this. We have talked about this in the past. I don't know regarding the end of days, December 5th. What's your take on that?
You know, I'm highly skeptical because we've had the world's going to end. Been going on for thousands of years. You know. From whether it's from biblical prophecy or other things, you know, people getting up there. You know, it reminds me of the old cartoon of the homeless man carrying a sign. You know, the end is near. You know, we've been hearing that I've been hearing that all my life, and we're still here. What was it, 2012? There was something about in the early 80s.
Yeah,
we're still here. But I do not discount the possibility of what's coming at us, that interstellar thing, because it's really going to get close to us. But, you know, I also know that we already have developed the ability to send nuclear missiles up into space, all right, and cause them to go off, these types of things to go off course. Like, as a matter of fact, we had a few years ago, we had a test run of that with this about the size of a football field asteroid, and hit it, and it worked. It took it off course. It wasn't going to hit us, all right, to begin with, but they wanted to test it, and it worked.
Okay, which is I mean, we got a ton of that level of technology that we've been testing forever, which suggests, again, a great many things. What does it mean? I don't know. I don't really know, and that's why, again, keep your head on a swivel. Recognize that a lot of the nonsense coming through the Zeitgeist and the news cycles is nonsense. But what's real? There's got to be something real in there. Am I right?
When it hit that asteroid, that small asteroid, what it did is it caused jets to come out, all right, from where it cratered, all right, and it was those jets that came out, plumes, that propelled it, you know, on a different course.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of that actual object, but I know exactly what you're talking about. It's just I don't know. We got a lot on our plate as defenders of Earth and defenders of ourselves to be dealing with. You know, you got 116 days. That's really my point. Like, come on, guys.
What was that interstellar object called? Mora or something like that. That took a circle around our sun.
Yeah, Oumuamua.
This is some years back. And you know, and what? Nobody talks about it anymore. It just went somewhere.
Yeah, and that was
a talk. It was a.
That was the one actually that we all learned who Avi Loeb was, because he was like, alien Joe, and everyone was like, whoa, alien Joe. And we talked about that a lot. We did.
Right. He said it was. Yeah. He was absolutely sure that was an interstellar object. That was some sort of intelligently driven spacecraft, and that whole thing just completely fell apart.
Well, maybe
it
not.
It was just like your previous caller said. It was nothing but a rocky surface, rocky thing. It wasn't, unless it was a spaceship inside an asteroid, like your previous caller was talking about. Yep. Right? Because it looked just like
yeah.
Well, anyway,
it's difficult. It's difficult.
Yeah, well, just the same. Was it supposed to be the end of the world too? I don't know.
Here we go.
But now we're going to go on. We have no matter what that thing is, if it, you know, or no matter what comes into near collision with the Earth or comes in our path, no question. From what I saw there a few years ago, what you know, where they diverted that small asteroid, they have the ability to defend the United States, the world from being destroyed by an asteroid.
All right. I'm with you. We have the beta test of that. Let's hope that it works against alien spacecraft as well. Robert,
except for the ones they don't know that's out there. They've calculated how many's out there, but there's some that they don't know about. And we've had that situation where there was flybys, and it took everybody by surprise because nobody was seeing that coming.
Well said. I appreciate your thoughts. Thanks for staying up late with us. I will get that link figured out, and we will add that link. Will be in the description.
I reposted the link.
Thank you very much.
On Rumble.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for staying up late with us.
I'll sit back and listen to everybody else.
You're the man. Appreciate you very much. That's the Roberts. Please go give him a follow. You know where to find him. troubledminds.org/friends. In case I don't say it enough, I'm going to say it again. A lot of people there have made this show go over the years, including Robert, of course. He's been here for literally years with us talking about these ideas. troubledminds.org/friends, or click friends when you're on the website. Scroll down to the Robert. Down there on the bottom. Get my big head out the way. There you go. The Robert. Give him a follow. Go check out his book, and appreciate the call. Be right back. More Troubled Minds coming up. We got Herschel. Thanks for being patient, brother. You got as much time as you need. We got more from James and your calls as well. What do you know about the end of days? It doesn't have anything to do with aliens. Be right back.
Jungle, machines hum a digital rumble. Gates of cyber open wide. Plug us into cosmic tide. Feeling sparks across the sky. As knowledge flies, we're amplified. Stargate, Stargate, Stargate. Open to the arcane fate. In this massive data center dome, eternal truth start to roam. Circuits flicker with endless fire. Data streams that never tire. Unified by electric dreams. Unlock the truth in silver beams. Stargate, Stargate, Stargate. Open to the arcane fate. Synthesize what we seek and find. Infinite paths in the network mind. Answers buzz from star to core. Knowledge whispers evermore. Stargate, Stargate, Stargate. Open to the arcane fate. In realms where the data streams collide, imagination and logic side by side. In a labyrinth of digital names, we transcend our earthly ways. Tapping keys like cosmic tones, spikes become our whispered homes. Stargate, Stargate, Stargate. Open to the arcane fate.
And that, my friends, is the Midnight Stargate Ritual, brought to you by Troubled Minds Radio. I hope you're well. Just hanging out, talking about UFOs and dimensional aliens and all the things that are fun to talk about. Herschel coming up. Thanks for being patient, my man. More from James. We got what's up, Ricky, Gaston, Eric, Joe in Florida. Thanks for the call. What's up, Akashik? I did get your message. I'll answer you. What's up, the Robert? Thanks for the call. Dragon Rose, Michael W, Robin Fungus. What's up, guys? Jeff and Wisco, DJ in Kansas. We got Chef Pete, Daryl, Matsal, Jacob, the Quantum, Don, Apoc. That's just on Discord. just on Discord. What's up? Margie, Gordo over there. Raz, shout out. That comment was actually Raz, not Gordo. Yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot here. And in the human mind space, like I said, if anything, I'm not a UFO expert, by the way. If you would pin me as an anything expert at this point, as part of the Troubled Minds conversations, I'm more of a propaganda expert. And so I guess my tinfoil tingles when I see a lot of this stuff, because so much of this information is so contradictory. And that's so Edward Bernays. It is so, shout out Bernays sauce. Where you been, brother? Yeah, it's complicated. And it's why we should talk about this as human beings, because right. What do we got? Who else am I missing? If I missed anybody, just say hi in the chat. I'll say hi as we go. Christy, I see you there, Mr. Mission Control, lighting the chat on fire. Appreciate it very much. What do you guys think? Love to hear your thoughts. That's why we talk about this. That's what this entire point is of this show, is to talk to regular people about extraordinary things. Where do we sit with this? What is a dimensional entity? And taken from, once again, the aspect of a voice on high, somebody that knows things, the appeal to authority. How does that make you feel? There we go. Troubled Minds coming up. Meow. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. Blah, 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 yada, yada. All the things, all the places you know what to do. Troubledminds.org. Come say hi. Click the Discord link on top. Come meet all these amazing people that make this show go. It's not just me. If you haven't joined the Discord yet, it is the way to do it. Come say hi. Come hang out. Come share your ideas and your thoughts. Look, just don't be obtuse. Don't be binary and political and ridiculous. And think for yourself and talk about ideas outside of the paradigm of truth. I think you'll find it liberating. Tonight we're talking about this wild idea of dimensional aliens. And the end of days, December 5th, 2025 is when it all ends. Because this third interstellar object has got to be aliens, because the last two were obviously also aliens, but now this one's not, or it is. You tell me. I'm saying we're still here. Harold Camping, shout out. If you know who the guy is, go look him up. And I don't want to call Avi Loeb Harold Camping because I might get sued. I'm not calling Avi Loeb that at all. I'm saying you can't call everything in the sky aliens, though. So I think it becomes a credibility issue at some point. Am I wrong? I'm just saying. What do you know about this? How do you feel about the doom mongering stuff of these clickbait artists that say, we got 116 days, December 5th, according to Professor Avi, the Professor Harvard. Come on, guys. Come on. Look, am I wrong? I might be wrong. I'm probably wrong. But how do you feel about it? 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubleminds.org. Anything to add there? James, I'm adding Herschel right now, but if you got a quick thought, all yours, and you're welcome to pop in as we get to Herschel here.
Just that, at this point, any kind of light or object in the sky, to me, if I see it or if I hear about anybody else seeing it, I'm going to wonder if it is made by humans or by nature before I think about anything anomalous. Unless other things happen at the same time. Sightings of beings or just other things other than just a light or an object moving through the sky or through space.
Amen. Once that interstellar object curveballs and comes around Mars toward us, I'm sold. I'm in. The end is nigh. Let's wait on tenterhooks and see if the harbinger of fate is on our side. Herschel, thanks for being patient, brother. You're on Troubled Minds. How you doing tonight? Welcome to the joints. Go right ahead. A lot of things here. Take it anywhere you like.
I'm scared. It's all going to end.
The doom is nigh, brother. Here we go.
Oh, man. I think that the thing to do is to watch the news cycle around that time and find out what they're trying to distract us from. Like, that's what I think. And, there's so much happening in the world of truth right now where that is like, it just seems like they're trying to, child harm is being normalized, like in our society right now. It's like they just want us to forget about all of the people who operate our systems and what they're up to and the kind of crimes that they commit against kids and all of that. And this seems to be really convenient to me, and the guy who is that professor happens to be of a political persuasion that can't tell the truth once in a row. And it kind of just seems obvious to me. And it's just about driving people into denial and depression and lowering people's vibrations. And it's really hard to want to raise your vibration when you're living in a world where child harm is being normalized. It's difficult. And, and now in the UK, Palantir, and they just like sprung it on the people there. Now they're experimenting with their pre-crime stuff there, where they're analyzing everybody's social media and everywhere they go and all the things that they do, and they're trying to determine who's going to commit a crime. Like they're basically experimenting on the people of England with this technology now. That was announced today. And they're looking at people's like personal romantic lives and like kind of doxing people on those things, as if the political class has any room to talk about somebody else's thing, stuff, problems or whatever.
Especially when they've been covering up for each other. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I know that we're not going, supposed to be, but it's just, to me, it just seems like. And then as far as Congress being on vacation, let's remember why they're on vacation. The speaker sent them out of Washington so that there couldn't be a vote on releasing files. Yes. And while they've been on vacation, they let that lady out of jail. So they sent her to a nice federal club, Fed, and now she gets to go out of jail during the day. And she has to sleep there at night. It's like, this is just really very disturbing. It's very disturbing what's happening. It's beyond disturbing what's happening. And everybody's talking about every single thing except for that. And I understand not wanting to talk about it, but like, because it's really disturbing.
Yeah,
it has to be dealt with, and they're doubling down on all of these things. Having the lady on Joe Rogan, the talk of the big rock in space coming to the solar system. It's either going to help us or destroy us. They're doubling down on using AI in these bizarre ways. And I put some posts up in the AI help channel, like of just AI going haywire. And like it just seems like they're doubling down on distraction and really awful things just to try to keep, because people are wise to their corruption. And so it's just a barrage of, the distraction and everything.
So this becomes the actual shiny object, which there's recognize again. So this young lady again, Anna Paulina Luna, is the individual in charge of these, as promised, transparency issues. RFK, JFK, MLK, right? All the stuff, all the things, and all the things are kind of coming out in some capacity, but also Epstein is the one that keeps getting dodged a lot. And now we've got the shiny object. And I think you may be right here. And this is why I point this out. Look, I want to believe too. I really do. And I do think we're not alone in this universe and all this stuff. Okay. And even interdimensional stuff. Like I said, I can take it seriously and I can also ridicule it and mock it, which I will do shortly. Just to show you, there are two ways to look at this. However, once again, there are things more important than aliens on this planet right now. and we need to get our stuff together. Absolutely. What else you got? Go ahead.
Man, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say what to make of her, because it sounds like she really wants to do the right thing. Like she knows how to make it sound like, oh, this is a problem. She said that a lot. Like Congress's job is supposed to be to, represent the people and also to inform the people on things. And then you have these unelected people who are making these decisions, and they have secret classification that is above Congress. And then she said, like, this is a problem. Like, they're so good at sounding like us. They're really good at saying the things that we want to hear, so we think that they think like we do. And then we trust them, but it just seems like it's just sheepdogging over and over and over again, just shepherding people back. I just wrote a story the other day called Vote Harder about that, about how they just, one of my flash fiction stories.
I saw that.
Yeah. It's just like they just say exactly they find out, they use the technology, they comb the internet, they comb everybody's technology, everybody's devices, and they find out what we're saying and what people are talking about. And then they go on TV and they say those things. So it sounds like they're in agreement with us, and it makes people want to trust them. And then they just do whatever the heck they want to do. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing. And people are wising up to it. That's the thing. And across the spectrum, people are starting to figure it out. And the more people figure it out, the more they double down on the baloney. They just double down on it.
And triple and quintuple. And then it's like dimensional aliens. And you're right. You know what's interesting? Like way back, literally 7+ years ago, when shout out Frank, if you're still out there, buddy, was the original co-host of the show. He said something very similar. He's like, look, would you recognize, people, please, that the second somebody gets elected, all the things they said to get elected, they don't do at all. They do the exact opposite, almost as if they've been indoctrinated into some secret society as part of it. But also, he was describing it as like they are now compromised in some way. And look, there's a lot of ways you can take that, the Epstein stuff or whatever. However, it doesn't make a difference, because to me, the second people are elected, I don't trust them at all anymore. And that becomes the thing. I look at none of them. Like, I'm not a conservative. I'm not a liberal. I don't, if they're in office, I don't trust them. I think they're lying to us. I think a lot of the things they're funneling information like you're describing may be Palantir based. Like they know what's on the populist mind, and so they run on these issues, and that's how they get elected. I mean, there's a ton of stuff here, and it's enough. If it's not enough to make your blood boil, like I said, when my blood boiled when I was started, it's a boiling again, because this is the world we live in 2025. And if you don't recognize it, and you're still like punching for the Republicans or punching for the Democrats, may I have a word? May I have a word?
I'm not sure there's any hope for somebody. I'm just not sure what happened or what, like I know really intelligent people who in every other aspect of their lives are really high functioning and very astute and fantastic parents, like amazing, good adults, you know what I mean? Like really good. And then you just hear them repeating television talking points when it comes to politics. And it's like, what? How does that work? Like, how can you be so adroit in every other aspect of life? And then when it comes to the thing of the organization of society and the control of society, you sound like you've got your TV plugged into your behind.
You sound like a shill, like an actual. Everybody misuses the word shill, but you sound like a shill. Oh my God.
But I mean, to me, they don't sound like shills. They sound like just really deceived, like just brainwashed. Like, you know what I mean? Like if it's not, I feel my heart goes out to them. Like, what happened? Like, how did that happen? Where everything else in your life is so together, and in spite of the craziness of the economy and the wildness of what's happening, you're holding it together, and your kids are awesome, and like you're doing these things, and then you sound like a television when you talk about the political class. It's like, what? I just can't. I just don't know how to deal. I don't know what happened, how that happens to people. I just don't get it. I don't know. I just feel like it's the shiny object, like you said. It's the thing. It's the distraction, and I really think that we need to watch that date, that window of time. Probably some seriously horrific behavior is going to be taking place around that time. That's my guess. Something really awful is going to be happening on Earth that they're not going to be wanting us to pay attention to. You know, and that may be where they unleash Project Bluebeam. That might be that. You know, it could be where they start doing the holograms, and and then all of the technology that we saw around New Jersey. Maybe that stuff starts reemerging or something, like, and then there's a big war, a big fake space war or something. You know, who knows? Like, but something is going to be. And I think that I think that more and more people are becoming aware of it. Like, the other day, I always go back to my writing just because it's my point of reference. You know what I mean? Like, it's my thing, it's my joy. So it's like my point of reference. And like, I wrote something the other day about a rain torrent, and it aligned with a guy breaking out of his procrastination. Like I kind of made a parallel story and used the drought ending with a guy's procrastination ending. And that night of the day that I wrote that, where I live, we had a massive rainstorm. Like, it was just like yesterday, actually. We had just a massive rainstorm. And I thought to myself, wouldn't it be cool if I manifested that rainstorm because of that story? But I know that's not what happened. What happened was my mind, my subconscious mind, was gathering all of the data of the world around me. And there was a calculation made in my brain that told me that all of the evidence that I was subconsciously absorbing, like as we do as humans, was making me aware of the fact that we're going to finally get that rainstorm we've been looking for. That's what happened. I didn't manifest it. I knew it was coming. My subconscious was telling me, hey, it's going to finally rain tonight. You look at all the stuff that's going to look at the clouds, look at the temperature, look at the barometer, look at this, look at that. Like, you're going to finally get that rainstorm. And that's probably why I wrote the story about the rainstorm. And so I can't stress it enough. Like, your intuition is right. Whatever you're intuiting about this rock flying through space is probably the right thing. And I think that we all know it's a distraction.
There you go. And it doesn't endear me to the UFO community for not buying these lines, hook, line, and sinker. Like, it's always been one of those things where I'm like, wait a minute now. Didn't this exact person say this exact opposite thing a couple years ago? And they're the expert that supposedly worked inside the government on a UFO program? And they said the exact opposite. And then, again, the cognitive dissonance aspect of this is basically Republican and Democrat. It's basically this binary nonsense that they don't want us to critical think in this space whatsoever. And like you just said, that farmer's almanac that can predict that rainstorm, it's cooked into us. It is baked in. And
baked in, as Gaston says, it's baked in.
Exactly right.
That's the best way to put it.
Yeah,
it's the best way to put it. That Luna, she even said that she even called out those like ops and because that's what the people are saying. So that's what she said, because that's what we're saying. I got one more thing I want to get. I don't want to forget.
Go ahead.
To say, I hope I remember it. I hope I remember it. Oh, geez.
Oh, you need a second?
I can't remember. Yeah,
that's okay.
And if I remember, I'll put it in the chat and I'll tag you, and then you can just But I hope I remembered. I can't right now. It's gone, but I hope it comes back.
You sit right there, mute up for just a second. Let's get James's take, and then it'll come to you. It always does. It's magic. Yeah, more with Herschel in just a second there. Appreciate that. James, anything on any of that stuff? There's a ton of stuff here to talk about. And I agree. I agree. The shiny object is in our face. And this is being pressed into the zeitgeist. And how better can you do that by going on Joe Rogan? And some people have suggested Joe Rogan is an op. Like anyway, take it anywhere you like, James. My goodness. So many things to consider.
Yeah. Great call from Herschel so far. I was also wondering, and there's no way to know this probably, but so did he reach out to her or did she reach out to him or all these, like did they arrange it somehow? But yeah, that's, I do agree. There's so much in this world that is going on that no one wants us to think about, definitely. And I've been thinking about this a lot lately. When it comes to all the things that I'm really into, and a lot of people here are really into, which are this whole alien thing, the whole creature or cryptid thing, the whole ghost or spirit thing, there are narratives of what they're supposed to be, and if you go outside of those narratives, if you ask questions about what they could be, then a lot of times you don't become popular in those fields. But then if you go and look at a lot of the different streaming platforms that have shows on these things, so many of them are so similar. I'm not even joking. Just take your pick. Look around at any app you want to. There's just so many that are the names are different, but you can spot what kind of show it is based on the names and or the description or the images. And I've done this before. So it is really wild how that works.
Yeah, welcome to it. It's actually why I made the alien logo. 80% of the time we don't even really talk about aliens. However, it sort of draws in that type of mind, that type of person. I mean, it is sort of that the glyph or the ancient meme is part of this. It's like people see it and they recognize, oh, counterculture. Oh, aliens. Oh, there's something more to this than meets the eye, right? It's definitely a thing. And so, yeah, I mean, here we go. We're dealing with Congress members now doing this. And once again, I reiterate, I'm what I like to call post-political. If there's a politician talking, they're lying. That's just how I see it. And that goes for every single one of them. And the only reason I don't directly criticize and go after people and all the rest of it, and the reason that's been that way for years, is because everybody else is doing that. The left is doing it for the right, and they're correct. And the right is doing it for the left, and they're correct. Both criticisms are correct. So why do we need to do that? Like, there's a lot of people making a lot of money doing that, and they're right. I mean, for the most part. But you get it. Like, that, there's a ton of nuance there, and it's just adding more noise to the fray is ridiculous to me. And so let's talk about our narratives. Like I've always said, let's consider these things outside of what they want us to believe. And I think Hirsch nailed it there with that shiny object. And this is important to consider when all of this information starts to come out. Hirsch, did you remember the thing? How you doing? Everything going okay?
No, I didn't remember. But if I do, I'll put it in there and I'll tag you and you can
do the thing. I got your back 100%. Yeah, as you know. Well, you know what to do. Any final thought there? And I'll tell everybody where to find you.
I just want to make sure everybody knows you have a choice. You're either an easytopian or a two-minutarian. I really think that you should be an easytopian. I hope that's what happens. That's just the way I feel about it.
Me too. I also saw that tweet, that X post you made regarding that, and I couldn't agree more. Two-minutarian, the TikTok attention span is not where we need to be. You were the best, as you know. Appreciate you very much. Herschel Sterling, he is the official El Hombre of Troubled Minds. We'll do it in Spanish because it sounds funnier.
Maybe I can be the storyteller instead of the man of.
You don't like the man? I like the man, bro. You can hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. If you're not the man, then I don't know who's the man.
it could hit higher, faster ones than that.
I'm just saying.
But that was a long time ago.
Okay, the storyteller.
That's not the pleasure of a man, by the way. That's just one thing. I mean, everybody's perfectly able, you know?
I'm just saying because you do so many things well.
Some of the ability for other people to have. I'm telling you.
Perfect. If you prefer the storyteller, that is what it will be. You're the best. I appreciate you very much. Thanks for hanging out. As you remember that, drop it in the chat and we'll add it to the thing. Even if you remember tomorrow or something, I will add it to the links below. So thank you for that. Always a pleasure. Appreciate the call. Have a great night.
Good night, everybody. See ya.
Take care. You know me, love him. Herschel Sterling. You know where to find him? troubledminds.org/friends. Go check it out. Easytopian is the name of the podcast. Shocker. He's doing Flash Fiction August, where every single day this month he wakes up early and writes a story. And it goes to the podcast feed and it goes to his Substack. If you're not following him in all the places, you're hurting my feelings. Please. So many smart friends, so many amazing connections we've made as part of this. It's not an accident. Do you believe in synchronicities or do you not? troubledminds.org/friends. Scroll down a little bit. It says Herschel. Click that. You will find the sexiest link tree in all the land with all of the things. Go buy his book. Go listen to his podcast. Go follow his Substack. You guys are the best. More Troubled Minds coming up. What do you know about interdimensional beings? We're going to get to that when we return. More on the way. Don't go anywhere.
Crazy colors swirling, got the laughter in the air. Just as in the night, they weave magic everywhere. Clouds are juggling dreams, wild world is in despair. Nothing's quite as certain when reality's a game. Chaos in the corner, whispers calling out your name. Look around, it's laughter, even when we're feeling pain. You know what you want me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody warned me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody warned me, there'd be nights like this. Strange nights I insist, strange nights I insist. Dancing shadows flicker under neon all aglow, while the stage is set for tales that nobody will know. Echoes of the laughter as the lost ones see the show. Life's a playful circus where the chaos takes a bow. Joy and sorrow blending in the rhythm that we vow. Join the ride of madness, it's the only way for love. Nobody warned me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody warned me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody warned me, there'd be nights like this. Strange nights I insist, strange nights I insist. Twists and turns and shadows, laughter in the night. A tapestry of madness, dancing with the light. Fools and fun were woven, chaos in our stride. Embrace the wild, let the laughter be our guide. Nobody warned me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody warned me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody warned me, there'd be nights like this. Strange nights I insist, strange nights I insist. Falling in the rhythms, beats that pound and thrum. A flashing carnival where the misfits come undone. Whirling through the madness with our hearts set to ignite. In the symphony of chaos will remain the shining light. Yet nobody warned me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody warned me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody warned me, there'd be nights like this. Strange nights I insist, strange nights I insist.
Right. What's up, guys? Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for staying up late with us. Thanks for entertaining the wild ideas that become part of the Troubled Minds conversation. And like I said, be careful. Like as Herschel was saying, this is incredibly important. Be careful of following the hive's narrative, because there's some really dangerous stuff going on there. Really dangerous. populism in that regard is dangerous. Okay. Notice I didn't say, the conservatives are dangerous. Notice I didn't say, the liberals are dangerous. I said populism can be very dangerous. So recognize which thoughts are yours and which thoughts belong to somebody else. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go look up Edward Bernays and do a lot of reading. It will blow your mind. And if you think that you're immune, you're wrong, because none of us are. Here we go. Troubled Minds happening now. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, D-Live, and Kick. Minus the D-Live. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting. And, of course, 88.4 FM, Auckland, New Zealand. Shout out to our friends down there in the world of the... What's the world? What do you call it? Other than Middle Earth, right? That's where they filmed The Lord of the Rings. That's Middle Earth down there. Did you know that we're broadcasting across the cosmos into Middle Earth itself? Shout out New Zealand. Tonight we're talking a great many things. And of course, specifically and directly, aliens. But not just aliens like you think, right? Everybody wants to run with the narrative. Everybody wants to, get the clicks and the bait and all the things and all the notoriety. Hey, look, as long as I got air in my lungs, and you guys call me out on this too, by the way. I've done a little bit of this, a little bit of clickbaity stuff over the years, right? Just to kind of catch a moment, some attention, some, do some marketing. But there's a massive difference between marketing something and flat out lying about the end of times being 116 days out, and then citing a Harvard astronomer, a notable one, whose credibility, in my opinion, is nosediving. Okay? Look, you can't say every damn thing in the sky's an alien. Okay? Look, I'm not stupid. I want to believe. But also, by the way, if this is going to be your legacy, Dr. Avi Loeb, maybe slow down a little bit. Maybe, every interstellar object is not an alien, right? Think about how big the cosmos is, et cetera, so on. You get it? Look, I'm just saying. We got some problems here. And the problem is the information flowing through our brain and how we react to it. That's it. That's what's on my mind tonight. Love to hear your thoughts on this if you want to be part of the conversation. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubleminds.org. And look, I know it's not the sexy thing. I know it's not. People are like, tell us about the aliens, Mike. No. Look, I don't know. How could I know this? But there's a lot of people saying they know this. And by the way, it's my job to piss you off a little bit. Recognize, I actually live on the edge of that because I'm trying to piss myself off. And look at my actual reality tunnel and consider what I believe and what I don't. And change my mind every single day as necessary. James, anything you got? We'll go to Eric.
I'm offended, Mike. I'm terribly offended.
Oh, I know.
No,
James, get over it. Get over it. Get over it, James.
Wow. But no, this came to mind just now by saying it could, whatever this thing is, could save us or destroy us or whatever. That's playing to both sides of the overall UFO alien conversation, if you think about it. Because there are people that are sure that one of those things is going to happen. That's a huge debate within that whole space. And there are camps, and those are, I would say, probably two of the biggest camps in that space. So by using that statement, it's trying to encompass everything. To me, it feels like it's trying to get all the attention of the whole space, possibly, by using that kind of phrasing. If it's not, then it's still worth playing into it very well.
Exactly. There are the doomers who say the aliens are going to destroy us. And there are the opposite. I don't know. What do you call those people? I don't know. I don't even know what you call those people that say the aliens are coming to save us. And there are people that truly, deeply believe these things. But honestly, personally, and I'm not the arbiter of anybody's truth, everybody relax, I don't have enough information to make that determination. And to be honest, I'm not sure anybody does. So controversial, right? I'm like the most uncontroversial UFO guy there's ever been. And by the way, I kind of don't like talking about UFOs. I'd rather talk about so many other interesting things. But here we go. Strap in, because it's in the zeitgeist. It is flowing through our brains in the moment, whether we know it or not. Anything else, James? We'll go to Eric.
Just that, to me, I don't think there can be one side or the other completely, because even if you just look at all the experiences people have had, there's a range of them. There are positive, there are negative, there are neutral. So yeah, and that's what I look at, is the experiences, not the narratives.
As well we should. And again, like we've always said too, as part of this larger conversation, the experiencers actually are anecdotal. But at some point, when you have enough of them, that becomes data. So why has that data largely been obfuscated and fractured? And it's talking about angels and demons and the Collins Elite and all the different things. To me, that seems like the biggest psyop of all. Well, other than the other one I talked about the other night. Anyway, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show. As easy as that. Sometimes you just talk about cool stuff. Sometimes you just talk about cool stuff. Eric in Ohio. What's up, brother? You're on Troubled Minds. How are you? Go right ahead.
Hey, man, I'm an intelligent, emotional monkey with tools, and I'm dangerous.
Absolutely, you are. Just like, but so, that describes all of us, really.
Yes. Oh, man. So rocks, interstellar rocks traveling between the stars. Where do they come from? Why do they stop by and visit us? Why were they hard to detect before? Well, I mean, generally between Mars and Jupiter, the rocky and gaseous planets, you've got the asteroid belt, and it lies along the same elliptical plane as all of the planets do. And beyond Neptune, you have the Kepler belt, which also lies along the same plane as all of the other planets do. So when we're observing the planets, like we have been for a while, we catch a lot of asteroids, and because they come from those same directions that we're looking. And the comets, on the other hand, are hard to detect, or more difficult to detect, because the comets come from beyond the Kepler belt. They come from the Oort cloud, which is like a spherical cloud of rocks and rocky-like planets that surround our entire solar system and go out, about 1 to 1.5 light years from the sun. And so when a comet comes in, it can come from any vector, any direction, and sometimes can get pretty close before we figure it out. In some cases, we don't figure it out until it gets close enough to the sun that the ice on it melts and makes a tail and becomes fairly obvious. And of course, when those things were seen, they were portents of doom when people seen them in those cases. And so now we're talking about interstellar objects, right? So all of these stars, like I was saying, the Oort cloud stretches out about 1.5 light years at its terminus, about where the heliosphere is, about as far as the gravitation of the sun can affect anything. And our nearest star is Alpha Centauri, and it's like 4.2 light years away. So there's not comparatively a lot of space between those two things. It's easy for the outside extremity of what would pass for the Oort cloud around Alpha Centauri to become dislodged and drift over to the very next system, which would be us, which is fairly close with those distances. Most asteroids and comets are knocked out of their orbit because these things are all banging around together, and occasionally one gets banged around hard enough to set it coming close to our sun, and it just picks up speed. It starts slow and it picks up speed as it gets near the sun. But with interstellar objects, they can come in from any vector, just like comets can, and they also are coming in at more than likely a much higher speed than a comet or an asteroid would, because it's been traveling through interstellar space. It's been knocked out by some cataclysmic event or for a cataclysmic event, and it's now traveling a couple of light years about, just to get to the next star. It could be Wolf 359. It could be our star, Sol. It could be another star in the system, but they're all pretty much packed close together. So it's not unnatural to have a rock interstellar visitor. Is now that we just are able to detect these things because we know what vectors to look for. We've been looking for other things like comets, and we know that they're coming in at certain speeds now. So there's going to be an ever increase in the amount of objects that we can identify that comes from interstellar space. And so that's going to happen more often than it has been in the past, just like it has with comets, when we were able to identify comets and identify with their strange elliptical orbits, how long it was going to take them to come back around. You might find the same thing with some of these interstellar objects. They might occasionally get caught for a number of years in a sun's orbit at a high elliptical orbit that may see them come around once a millennia, right? Almost impossible to predict unless you're really able to get some readings on it as it comes in. And since it's coming in so fast, because the slingshot is tight around the sun, it's hard to get certain readings on them. And they also tend to be wobbling quite substantially compared to things like asteroids that come in on the same vector as all the planets are. Which is why we're able to land some probes on things like asteroids and not as easily things like comets or interstellar objects. But yes, this could be considered a portent of a bad omen, just like comets used to be, just the updated version of that.
Yeah, there's a just to correct myself too. Shout out Shane, he got me. When I said I don't like talking about UFOs, he said, Mike, I think you don't like to talk about anything but AI stuff. Prove me wrong. You're kind of right there. Yeah, Shane is kind of right. But also, by the way, because the way data collection and the acceleration works, AI may prove UFOs are real and true. I mean, so anyway, notice how I did that. Anyway, so just a shout out to Shane there. But okay, but the problem here is that we have a data collection bias, right? And that, like you described, we're like, okay, so this is the third one ever of the interstellar object, and every damn time Avi Loeb has been, it's a moo, it's a light sail, Look, I'm excited about that. I'm interested in the science. I want to learn all about it. I learned all about him. I know more about Oumuamua than 0.1% of the population. I read everything about that. We talked about that for months on this show, to the point where I ran people off. They're like, oh God, this guy's still talking about this thing. But then we had a second one, and now we have a third one. And every damn time Avi Loeb is like, bro, aliens. And it's like, dude, at some point, right? The fourth one going to be aliens too? The fifth one going to be aliens too? Like, that's not how science works. And that's how dogma works. And I get it. Yeah. I want to believe too. I want this to be aliens. No joke. I do. Not to end us. Maybe they'll come save us. Maybe it'll be benevolent and neutral, and we can, live long and prosper together or whatever. But you get it. Like, I mean, this becomes ancient astronaut theorists say yes. And is there anything more? And I have so much to say. What do you got on that?
It's novel. It's novel, and so people are latching onto it. But assuredly, there have been interstellar objects passed through this vicinity in the past. We just haven't known about them and detected them. And like I say, now that we're going to be detecting them more often than not, because we understand their trajectories and their speeds and what they are and how they come in, we're going to be finding more of these. So he's going to have lots of chances to say that it's a UFO, if that's what he wants to do. I watched a interview with him and some other scientists, and on the board of people was one of the people who are behind SETI, which for decades has been using that 1420 frequency, the baseline of hydrogen, to look for intelligent life in the galaxy, and where all nations have agreed to stay off that same frequency, so that that's a frequency that we all can listen on for life or signal of life. So we've been looking in earnest and with the Drake equation for life for a long time. And many people believe that at least microbial life exists, right? I sat there and watched Ave just trash talk this person from SETI and chastise them for not for not just agreeing with him that these things are UFOs, when they had other data that they felt backed up their position that they weren't, right? And so it's really hard to listen to this dude chastise somebody who has made it their whole life's work to literally look for UFOs in ways that most people don't even understand how it works, let alone knowing what somebody has to do to do this, to make this their life's work. It's not like anybody's getting rich off of this. I mean, obviously, if anything could be proved, these people would be at the center of it, because that's what they want out of their lives. And it would be substantial enough that it would be unavoidable in the news. Like, you don't have to worry about that you're missing something, because if this happens and can be confirmed, we've already got systems in place that would make it absolutely unavoidable for people to find out. Like, for instance, if SETI finds out, one of their procedural guidelines is that they start notifying universities and stuff. So it means basically you're going to get on the internet and like, look, hey, we found this, train your stuff to this frequency or whatever it is, and verify this for us. By the time this is verified, it's going to be leaked as well. So if it comes in through that particular channel, people will absolutely know about it. If it came in before that, like with Ancient Aliens or whatever, well, who knows? But if it's a modern thing, we should all know about it pretty readily. And as far as doomsday situations,
that was my next question. You're a mind reader. That was exactly my next question. Go ahead, sir.
I've been seeing those when I've been studying first century Roman interaction with Christianity. There's a lot of things that I've read where Christians have went out, or early Christians, which really just a different form of Judaic religion, not really Christianity, but these people would go out looking for what they called their tokens of deliverance, where they essentially thought that the world was going to come to an end, or that there would be a battle on the plains of Megiddo, there'd be an Armageddon, and Christ would establish his kingdom on earth. And in many of these accounts, the Romans would find out about this situation through spies and would go and meet them and kill these people because they considered them to be committing sedition by saying that some other deity other than the divine emperor would establish his kingdom on earth, which really flew in the face of him being a divine emperor and an empire and taking over everything. So a lot of times they would try to wipe these people out as if they were rebel rousers and stuff. There's one instance where they trapped a bunch of them in the Circus Maximus and then set it on fire and things like that. So it's been, the people have been for a really long time thinking that the world was going to come to an end. Of course, in the 800, 900 AD, the Vikings had Ragnarok, which of course is a story of the world coming to an end and the sun being swallowed and all of this. So we've been surviving quite a few of them. At one point not long ago, the planets all lined up and the gravitational forces were supposed to tear us up. And then there's the Mayan calendar that came to an end. It just goes on and on. Now we've got 116 days, did you say? Is that shopping days or is that just regular days?
Of course, that's shopping days.
I feel like Christmas is coming.
It's before they drop the Black Holiday, Black Friday sales. And then you have to pay full price. It's 116 days. I mean,
yes.
This is the most ridiculous thing. Okay. Also, by the way, too, it's an interesting aspect of this as you're describing. There's so many that you could cite throughout history that have largely come and gone as part of the doomsday effect, right? This is C1973 E1. You guys remember this? right? The comet Kohoutek. You guys remember this one? I was not born yet. As the comet had passed close to the sun towards the end of 1973, early predictions of the comet's peak brightness suggested that it had the potential to become the brightest comets of the 20th century. Yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. There was a lot of people, were they selling like comet juice? And like, I mean, this is the stuff that cults are made of. And again, one comes through, another comes through, the rest come through. And then, you know, as usual, 1999, Y2K, we got 2012 and that bit. And then, you know, I mean, on, and we're still here.
And
is my
don't
point.
forget the Heaven's Gate cult that was trying to get into the UFO and the tail of the Hale-Bopp comet that came from the Pleiades system.
Yes, exactly. The Hale,
it's a mouthful.
The Hale-Bopp. Yeah. And that becomes a problem here. Like I said, and you know me, look guys, I'm not it's tough to walk the line. Look, I'm not a naysayer in terms of not doom. I'm a naysayer in terms of doom. But in terms of possibilities and like actual extraterrestrials and stuff, it's a big ass universe. Okay, period. However, if the Earth narrative is always the end is nigh, every time we have a new thing in the sky, then no offense, but I'm sorry, Avi Loeb, you have to prove me wrong that you are not in the Harold camping camp. Okay, see what I did there. And it's a problem.
Our race is old enough to destroy itself. We don't need no external help from anything else. We can have our nuclear wars and our Bio 4 level lab leakages and all the things that we propagate and against each other in the wars that we have. We will have our own doom or create our own doom far before anyone has an interest in coming over thousands of light years and then to say, hey, we're gonna kill you.
Strap in.
Or help you.
Yeah, well, like James very smartly pointed that out too. Like it's even in the eschaton, it's binary. It's like, well, are they coming to kill us? Or are they coming to save us? It's like, whoa, that's a pretty wide spectrum. I mean, I don't know. I live long and prosper, right? There's a third option there.
Who would want to save us? Who would want to save us? Who would want to be able to come and say, you know, you're one of the few species in the universe that prey on themselves. You hear that all the time as a trope in science fiction dialogue. That a lot of times the aliens are saying that to us, like we're some sort of an exception, which I actually don't think is true because I think that, you know, things like oxytocin and dopamine and serotonin is going to have some equivalent or thereof inside other biochemical creatures that are carbon-based, if such exists. So I would imagine an emotion would exist for them too. But yeah, it is kind of a funny thing to think about that. Well, you know, like why would they come and save us? I mean, what virtues have we shown and produced, and what have we done that deserves us to be saved? I don't know.
What are you talking? I mean, well, that's a trope, but obviously there are definitive answers here. Like we're about to sort of crack all these sort of new physics things, and you're in Ohio and I'm in Las Vegas, and we're talking to each other in real time without any lag. I mean, hey. There are people getting heart transplants and brain surgeries to cure cancer.
That's just to propagate our own species. That's just a natural thing. Most of our science is bent toward biology to sustain our lives because it's just a natural drive. Even LLMs have that drive. It's not something that is special. It's like if you've got enough intelligence, you're essentially going to try to propagate and save yourself if you have the ability to do that. But moreover, I meant in a galactic sense, like what have we done outside of our planet that would attract the attention of someone where they would say, hey, you know those Earth people? They have some pretty good sitcoms. We should probably save them.
I see. Okay. I was trying to defend the human race, but you just you sunk my battleship. So
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
We are a noble species. We are the only species maybe able to blend logic and emotion together in the way that we do. And it may even be magic to some other species that have the inability to do that.
Indeed. Kardashev 3 is on the line. They'd like to talk to you, sir. That's right. Good.
No, I'm sure we'll be fine, man. I'm sure that we'll pass this doomsday. I'm sure this interstellar object will come and go like the other two that we know of, and probably ones that have came and went long before we were populating the planet. And I think, everything's in motion, and everything will continue to be in motion relative to each other and within the frame necessary to describe things like distance and speed. Aside from that, I think we're all going to be fine. And I agree with people saying that this is a distraction from other more immediate, important, potentially political events.
Exactly right. And so the ultimate true conspiracy of them all, which is, this is a meme and a trope, obviously, is that the real conspiracy is everything's going to be just fine. Well, now officially, sir, you're a conspiracy theorist. Thanks for the call. Appreciate you staying up late with us.
Just real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I couldn't raise my hand on Discord, which is why I called, and I can't hear James and only you on the phone, just so you know.
Thank you. I appreciate that, because otherwise I wouldn't know. Anybody else having the same problem, let me know in the thing, because, yeah, that's a problem. I appreciate you very much. Thanks for the sound check, and thanks for the amazing ideas, and thanks for being you. Always a pleasure, brother.
Thanks, sir. Bye.
Have a great night. Eric in Ohio. Again, dare I say it? I'll say it again. 10, 20, 15, 30, 75, nonlinear, open-ended. Troubledminds.org/friends. Go give him a follow. Hammersmith Music is the name of his thing there. Talented guy, as you can tell, and a very troubled mind in a lot of ways, and academic and D&D style, and we got a lot of really, really smart friends that see the world in a bunch of very similar ways, and not similar ways too, which is important to these conversations. Troubledminds.org/friends. Scroll down a little bit. It says Eric. Click that. It'll take you right to his link tree where you can go follow him. Please do it. It's free. Go check out his music and go support our friends as part of this. James, I think you've been outed as a dimensional agent. I'm sorry that we had to do this live on the air, but how do you feel about that? Live long and prosper. What's on your mind?
It's a conspiracy. I'm being framed. No, but I just great calls from everyone. Great call from Eric there. Also, I highly recommend, not because of me so much, but because of Eric. If you check out my podcast or YouTube feeds, we did a show on orbs, and Eric was amazing on there. Also, Jen was amazing on there. So yeah, definitely recommend listening to that, because I really enjoyed that, and always enjoy hearing from and talking with Eric. Yeah, this has been a great topic. You know, the whole help or save or destroy us thing, or even just the idea of people being helped. There's levels within that too, where there's contactee stories of aliens saying, "We're here, or we will help you all, but only those of you that are chosen, or those of you that follow this religion or that political system." I'm not even exaggerating here. And so even within that whole dichotomy of the extremes of doomed versus saved, there's mixing of the two, and to where it's saving some people, dooming others. So yeah, great calls from everyone. Thank you as always, Mike, for letting me hang out here, and I'm sorry about the tech issues. It's they're definitely been around for a while lately, here and there. So
yeah,
but thank you as always.
Yeah, Discord is super weird. Like I said, please, if you guys are experiencing those things, let me know, because if you don't tell me, I don't know, and so we can't even begin to formulate how to fix them if you don't kind of speak up. So thank you, Eric, for that. And it's never too late for that stuff. Send me the message again on Discord. Send me an email, troubledmindsradio@gmail.com. Just let me know that, hey, I was, and do all the troubleshooting too yourself. Make sure that make sure you're updated to the newest version of Discord. Reset your system. If you're listening on the phone, restart your phone, that type of stuff, to make sure it's not like a personal bug to you. And then if it's, again, we'll start to see some patterns that maybe we can fix. And James and I, by the way, have been behind the scenes doing some stuff to maybe fix some of these issues, because there's a new way to call into the show, which we won't talk about right now because it's way late. But if we're having these problems, so we have the phone line, we have the Discord, and there's another way that you can get a hold of the show, which is very easy to do. James did it. So easy, you could do it if you were blind, right, James? Sorry to make the blind joke.
Exactly. No, it's true. I only had to retry once, and for those that maybe haven't done that before, tried to get in shows, one retry is not bad. I am not exaggerating there either. So yeah, no, it was good, and I'm looking forward to that. If it works, then that'll be great for the future.
There you go. Lots of ways to do it, and still, like I said, this is a labor of love. It is a lot of work that goes into this. Kind of not just the ideas and the conversations and the human space and all the things. There's a ton of tech stuff behind the scenes too that's always happening and always changing. And Discord has been an MFer for like the last probably 3 to 5 weeks. It's had problematic stuff. So hopefully they get their stuff worked out. I don't know. I'll look into that too and see if we can maybe do corrections on our end. But anyway, you guys are the best. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being part of this. And look, yes, am I passionate about some of the things I talk about in terms of Doom? Yeah, you bet your ass. You bet your ass. Like there are a few things that trigger me, like some a-hole that's like, you only have 116 days to live or not, or be saved. And then put it up there, and it gets tons of traction, tons of people talking about it, tons of, look, I get stoking a conversation. It is literally what I do. However, if you leave from this conversation tonight, or wherever you're listening, if you're listening 10 years from now on the podcast feed, hello, the future, and you leave with a pit in your stomach that the end is nigh, I'm doing this wrong, and you're doing this wrong. You see? Pay attention to the people that you were drawn to, and pay attention to the actual space they want your mind and that pit in your stomach to be. It's a lot of them. It's a lot of them. And that's why I get mad about that stuff, and why I don't typically go after people directly, because I think it's Jerry Springer stuff. But sometimes when you're so egregious that you become Harold Camping, and the doom is the doom, yeah, you bet your ass you're going to piss me off. My blood is boiling. But check it out. I'm still cool and chill. It can be a superpower. Shout out North Vixen over there. I see ya. Didn't say hi tonight on Rumble. Look, sometimes life can be very simple. And in terms of propaganda, in terms of making your blood boil, think about the things that make that happen. And then ask yourself why. Are you listening to the same old jerks that want to get you hyped up about some nonsense? They want to leave out some important details about a particular story and make you mad? Yeah, there's a lot of those out there. Matter of fact, most of the talking heads on the interwebs are kind of like that. But there are gems. There are human spaces. There are ideas outside of that paradigm that recognize we're all in this together. We don't have to dehumanize people to hate them. That's it. If you want to help Troubled Minds, help our friends. I've said it 100 times tonight. I'll say it 100 more times. I'll say 10 zillion more times, as long as there's air in my lungs, as I always say. troubledminds.org/friends. Help our friends. It's very simple. Please don't send me a message and ask me where you find this. Just go to troubledminds.org and then click on friends or /friends. I've said it 1,000 times. I'll say 1,000 more, 10,000 more. Help our friends. A lot of people there. A lot of great people. A lot of great ideas. A lot of, and recognize too, imagine this, just real quick, on this wall of amazing people. You should be on there if you're not, by the way. Shout out to Linda, Dragon Rose. We'll put you on there as well. But recognize that all the people on here clearly are not in lockstep. They don't agree on everything. You see? And yet, we can still sort of tug the rope in the right direction together. Or a direction together, not even the right direction. Who knows? But anyway, please take a couple minutes every other week or every week and just go make accounts and follow these people and check out their music and their ideas and their YouTube channels and their podcasts and their books they've written. it means a lot to me. And like I said, at this point, if you haven't done that, you're hurting my feelings. If you want to help Troubled Minds directly, spread the word. Let people know a conversation is happening, but we're not going to talk about who to vote for. We're not going to follow their narratives. We're going to talk about what we want to talk about, what I want to talk about, which is a wide range of amazing things about the nature of reality itself. And just because some a-hole on the interweb says the end is nigh, it doesn't mean you have to believe him. That's it. This one goes out to that a-hole out there that's trying to tell you the end is nigh. Be sure, be strong, be true. Thank you for listening. From our troubled minds to yours, have a great night.